Hotep Sinuhena Sinut I Tiren Ishakandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this video is Shalom to my Kemetic Hebrew-Israelite brothers and sisters. We are family. Let me check the sound, and I see that our brother, the flight doctor, sorry. No, it's the fight doctor, my bad. I think yesterday I might have said the flight doctor. I'll have to double check. But our brother is here, so I'm going to put it on the channel on the panel right now. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hotel, brother. How you doing?
Oh, I'm chilling. I'm less tired than yesterday, so I hope the other brothers will not be late, because if they are too late, they're gonna miss the show. But feel free to speak if you have any questions or comments, brother.
No questions, no comments.
Oh,
Just
really?
here to listen and
Okay.
learn. That's all.
Oh, well, I can play something that's going to be just a few seconds long, just to bring a little bit of context of why I want to share this excerpt. I remember there's a brother in the conscious community who is a 5%er, and he had a discussion. I think he was with Stu Peace on the pseudo killers, and at one point, the amount of the number of Nation of Islam members was put in question. And I remember quoting a book that gave a figure. I tried to look for the video, couldn't find it. So probably the book was inside the Nation of Islam, probably. But anyway, here we're going to hear from Muhammad Ali when he was a member of the Nation of Islam, so we can have a clear idea. So it's only going to be just a few seconds. It will probably be less than 1 minute.
And when Kennedy died, he also jumped up and praised Kennedy's death. The first white man that I've seen who really wanted to do something, tried to do right, couldn't seem to be right with me. And many people were grieving at the time Kennedy died, mainly Negroes. They cried more than white people. And this was an unwise thing for a man representing some 700,000 followers to stand up and praise a man like Kennedy's death.
And indeed, that was all. 700,000 followers. And that comes from Muhammad Ali, boxing legend, when he was a member of the NOI, because later on he took a different route. So all this to say that the very low figures that we had proposed were quite underestimated. For those of you brothers and sisters who may wonder why I wrote Shalom to my Kemetic Hebrew-Israelite brothers and sisters, well, um, well, actually, no. You know what? Okay, I'll do that again. I'm sharing the link to a CNN article, and it talks about Ezekiel's seal. And this is an amazing discovery that I've made myself, even though that was discovered a very long time ago. And our brother Chris MVP Harris has put me up on game. So this is the seal, dated 800 BC. And here we have the Ankh. And as a matter of fact, we had two Ankhs. Because if I go back, if I go to images, you will have, there it is. This is the Washington Post, brothers and sisters. My goodness. So what I'm going to do is this and this. Um, the link will be too long, but you know how to find that picture. You just have to type in Ezekiel seal. It's not Ezekiel, it's Hezekiah. So that's all you have to type in on your search engine. Hezekiah seal, like this. And then when you go to images, you will have that one, which is from the Washington Post. Oh, actually, well, yeah, okay. It's okay. It's fair enough. So here you can see the first ankh, the one on the right, but there was one on the left as well. So that's an incredible discovery. Looks like us Kemetic people and Hebrew-Israelite brothers have more in common. And there's another thing that I have shared also yesterday. I mean, basically, Christians, Hebrews, or Jews, Jewish people, and Muslims too. You have to recognize what's up. Because here I'm going to show you a PhD in Islamic studies. I presented an artifact in front of her audience publicly. And you're going to have to hear who he said, and I'm talking about that PhD. You got to hear who these artifacts represent. Listen up. Oh, there was no sound.
In Allah, the proto-Semitic Allah burning down tells us was a black God represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the
So you've heard him right. He said the Proto-Semitic Allah. Now, my stance is that it is El. Some people's stances apparently is that El and Allah is one and the same. So this PhD in Islamic study presented this artifact here, but what does this artifact representing allegedly Allah according to Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD? What is on his head? Let's see.
picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult.
I don't even need to continue. For the Judeo-Christians, the king of Judah, Hezekiah, had the ankh, actually two ankh, on his seal. And Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD in Islamic studies, showed the statue and said that this is a Proto-Semitic Allah. So we have the Proto-Semitic Allah wearing an Egyptian crown. What more do you need, brothers and sisters? You have to give respect where respect is due. You go ahead, brother Fight Doctor, if you want to add on.
Yeah, just I think maybe the critical minded people in the Hebrew Israelite and Christian communities need to start asking questions. You know, why? Why is this Hebrew king have this symbol or this, this whatever you call it, this coin or whatever it is, with all of this Egyptian iconography? You know, and why is the chief or one of the chief Hebrew Israelite deities wearing an Egyptian crown? Okay, so these are valid questions, and I think that the critical-minded people in the Hebrew Israelite, Jewish, Christian communities need to start asking some questions, like start with why.
Yes, let's ask questions. And that reminds me of one coin from uh, some Muslim rulers, some Muslim era. And you can find that coin in the book Did Muhammad Exist? But you can find it as well. It's basically a coin from some Muslim ruler, but there's a cross on the coin. How come? But I've heard people dissing Kemet. And if you have respect for King Hezekiah, since he has the Ankh symbol, the Kemetic symbol, on his seal, on his royal seal, then either you have to diss him altogether or respect what he used to respect, because this is a 8th century BC king of Judea. It doesn't say that he's an Israelite. It doesn't say that he's a Hebrew, because historically, I don't know how far that goes back, those two terms, but he was the king of Judea.
And no Star of David in sight.
Come again, brother?
I was saying no Star of David in sight.
No Star of David in sight. Yes, how far does the Star of David go back? So you got to respect your king from your holy land. Oh my goodness.
Above and beyond that, from what I understand, the discovery of this seal is not something that's new. They discovered it 20, 30 years ago.
Yes, let me see the date on the Washington Post. Um, well, let me just see the date of the article. That's 2015, so that's like 7 years ago. Well, the article is dated 2015, but I think the article was released shortly after the found.
Okay, well, it may not go back, the discovery may not go back 20, 30 years, but 7 years, that's almost a decade. And again, this is the first that I've heard of it. Like the other day when you talked about it on your program, and this begs the question: why is this just now becoming, at least, why am I just now hearing about this? I like to think that I'm a person who stays pretty on top of current events in terms of archaeology, and why is this just coming to light? And why are we not hearing anything from the Hebrew Israelite Christian communities? How come no one is over there is giving an explanation as to why we have this artifact from a Hebrew Israelite king with these Egyptian symbols?
Well, I found out about it.
No, I think that somebody needs to give an explanation. I would like to see somebody from the Hebrew Israelite community explain the meaning behind this seal. Okay, and not and give an in-depth explanation. Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
I doubt that they will have any explanation. And myself, I found out about it yesterday. And it was, once again, Chris MVP Harris who let me know about it. Now, I think it's not well known, because obviously there is the Ankh symbol, two Ankh symbol on top of the, winged sun. But the winged sun, once again, you will see it in some other parts of the world as well. Like I think even in Iran, you can see it. Um, I know I filmed the Persian archers. Mm, I'll have to check on the pictures I have from no the Louvre Museum. I mainly had the ancient Egypt, but anyway, the fact that there was the Ankh, I think this lady is an archaeologist, so she will contact some media, and some media will ultimately talk about it. But I'm not sure if some people from the government of that country are very happy about that, and also other people, other Abrahamic people. It's kind of inconvenient, with all the smack that they've been talking about Kemet, about or ancient Egypt, and it being a land of evil or slavery, and people being basically um, cursed or chastised by Yahweh. Uh, why, way after the Exodus, if it happened, I don't believe it happened. There's no evidence that it happened, but way after, why would this king, which is like no other, I mean, if we go by the biblical narrative, he says something to the effect of there was none like him afterwards. So why would we have that symbol there? And that's a king. It's not just a commoner. This is a ruler of the land. And to me, this finding is so amazing. So
Yeah,
amazing.
it's amazing, and I find that often uh, archaeological facts, or just facts in general, are very inconvenient for the religious crowd, yeah, especially the Bible thumping crowd. Um, and I'm just eagerly awaiting to see how the Christian Hebrew Israelite communities put on their best dance moves to dance around this particular subject. I can't wait to see it. I'm about to go eat some popcorn and a soda pop and enjoy the show.
Well, you see, brother, it's only us for now. I mean, honestly, we should have some Judeo Christians. I mean, you know, people told me about Vocab Malone. I wonder what he thinks about that. I mean, anybody that has some harsh words towards Quebec and towards Kemetic people, it's quite inconvenient. It's really, really, really inconvenient because they go by the Bible. They consider it to be the Word of God slash inspired by God. Now,
And
actually,
none of them have never read it. Okay, these people who go by the Bible, they don't go in it. They just go by it. Okay,
yes,
they go by the Bible. They don't go in it. But these people who go by the Bible have never actually picked it up and read it. Okay, they all have some quote unquote translation. Okay, which essentially is second or third hand information. It's hearsay, is what it is, right? So you don't actually go in the Bible until you've actually, you know, looked at the original documentation, if there is any.
hmm
You know,
I want to find that quote that says that there was none other like him. Um, okay, I know how to find it. So, 2 Kings 18:5. So, 2 Kings 18. Well, never mind. Go to 2. Oh, well. Okay, I'll do 2 Kings 18. All right, there it is. New International Version. I'm putting this in the chat, brothers and sisters. And now let's have a look together. So that's 2 Kings 18. What does the verse 5 say? Hezekiah trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel. There was no one like him among all the kings of Judah, either before him or after him. He held fast to the Lord and did not stop following him. He did not stop following him. He was successful in whatever he undertook. He rebelled against the king of Assyria and did not serve him. From watch from Watchtower, it's funny because it's the first time I see Watchtower in the Bible, or the first time I heard about Watchtower is basically the Jehovah's Witness Journal. So from Watchtower to fortified the city. I'm sorry, from Watchtower to fortified city, he defeated the Philistines as far as Gaza and its territory. So this is what the Bible says. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to try to say, well, that guy he wasn't on code, he wasn't on point, he wasn't following the path. This discovery here.
So they can't use their usual dance steps. They're gonna have to invent some new dance steps.
they have to bring some new dance now, some new dance move now.
Some new age break dancing.
Oh yeah.
Soft shoe or tap dance, whatever the hell it is, they need to put on their repertoire.
They're
to
gonna
dance
have to
around
do
this one.
the buck dancing, the tap dancing, the break dancing, the pop locking. I mean, they're gonna have to mix it all.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to mix it up.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna invent some new dance moves. Okay. And dance right around this one.
They're gonna come up with the Canaanite break dance.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So you see, my Kemetic Hebrew-Israelite sisters and brothers, we might have a lot more in common than we thought. How are you gonna get around this one? You believe, brothers and sisters, Kemetic Hebrew-Israelites, you believe that the Exodus happened, that in ancient Egypt they enslaved the Hebrews and mistreated the Hebrews. Then why would that king who trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel, and there was no one like him among all the kings of Judah, either before or after him, why would he put that Kemetic symbol? Why would he put the symbol of the ancient Egyptians on his royal seal? He probably wanted to show you something, to let you know something. He wasn't an evil king according to the Bible. Are you, Kemetic Hebrew-Israelite, going to discard the Old Testament now and just say, well, okay, now we're rocking with the New Testament? Most Hebrew Israelites don't rock with the New Testament. They prioritize the Old Testament, the Tanakh, the Torah, the Pentateuch. I'm not surprised Hebrew Israelites are not here this evening.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. I was hoping that the brother would show up and answer some of our questions, but unfortunately, maybe he caught a flat. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's working overtime. Who knows? But maybe perhaps we can get the brother next time and have a dialogue.
Yeah, I'm sure he will help in one of these days, but I mean, it's probably going to take time for the Hebrew Israelites to process this information right there.
Yeah.
That's I mean, all those years, I've heard so much dissing Kemet. And here comes one of the most recognizable symbol, one of the most prominent symbol from ancient Egypt, from Kemet. Here it is on the royal seal of the king of Judah. And that's something. And if I would have, it's good timing, because if I would have found it earlier, I would probably just really kind of, tease a little bit, and then I would have kept it moving. But I would not keep it moving. This thing will be reminded. We never have the same people who watch the live streams. Many people don't watch the videos after the live stream, so I'm going to make sure that people know that on this royal seal of the King of Judah, 8th century BC, 800 BC, and on that statue of the Proto-Semitic Allah, according to Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD, we do have the Atef crown on the head of the Proto-Semitic Allah. And on that royal seal of the King of Judea, we do have the Kemetic, actually two Kemetic symbols, Ankh. Yes, you can come back home now, brothers and sisters.
Right. Come
And the
back to where it
Proto,
all
yes,
began.
yeah, to where it all began. And that Proto-Semitic Allah, that's even worse. I mean, really, it is El. As far as I'm concerned, it's El. This is Dr. Wesley Muhammad who said that it is the Proto-Semitic Allah, because he's reaching. He knows that according to the records, Islam, documented Islam, doesn't go as far back as even the Canaanite stuff and the stuff from Kemet. So in order to extend the lifetime, and push it back, he just roll with the El is Allah. But I've heard
Well,
so many.
so
Yes, go ahead, brother.
the problem here is that, when we talk about Islam, talk about Christianity, these things need to be put in their proper context. And Islam, when you put it in its proper context, is simply a Christian religion. Okay, it is a sect of Christianity, and Christianity itself is a sect of Judaism. So, when you put these, when these things are put in their proper context, and they can be properly understood. So now Wesley Muhammad, he's in my mind, in my view, he's participating in some elaborate, how can I put it, dissembling, okay, or some, alternative facts. Maybe we can put it that way. Some very creative history when he wants to look at this this idol of a deity that's clearly El, and claim that it's the quote unquote Proto-Semitic Allah, right? And if we, what does Proto-Semitic even mean, right? I think we need to define
means
that term.
like before the Semitic language, or like earliest Semitic language. But we can go in details and find out ourselves. So let's share the screen and look at proto. The definition of proto by itself might be different from proto in front of a language, but let's do Webster. Proto Webster. So proto means first in time. So that would be like the first Semitic in terms of the language, of course.
Well,
so it also means beginning, giving rise to, parent substance of a specified substance. And then if I don't even think they would have Proto-Semitic in Webster. So here Webster says Proto-Semitic, the assumed ancestral language of the Semitic languages, and we also have of or related to Proto-Semitic.
right.
So there we have it, the assumed ancestral language of the Semitic languages.
So then I guess the Proto-Semitic Allah would have to be the assumed Semitic, or the assumed Allah, or the deity that you assume to have been Allah prior to the current Allah, or it's confusing. I don't know. In my mind,
I think that would be the language, the term, not the actual deity, because they will not accept that this would be like the assumed Allah. But I think like the assumed name in the original, or the how did they word it? Where is it? Ancestral, the assumed name, or the name, let's say the name Allah in the assumed ancestral language of the Semitic languages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, Wesley Muhammad is, I think what he's doing here is being dishonest, because, from the Muslim point of view, Allah begots not and is not begotten. So
Yes.
he's no one's child, or it is no one's child, and it has no children, right?
Hmm.
Whereas El clearly has children, right? El has a wife, and he also produces children. So if we know that El has these attributes that Allah clearly does not have by Muslim definition, then how is it possible that El could be the Proto-Semitic Allah? That doesn't even make sense. You know, above and beyond that, if you look at Allah's history, now I'm not 100% on this, but I want to say that Allah, the deity Allah, traces back to some moon god from Yemen, Southern Arabia. Now I'm not 100% on that, but I think that is where the earliest recorded, some of the earliest recorded mentioning of Allah is from Southern Arabia, and Allah is associated with the moon.
Well, a lot of times people say that he was originally a moon god, but what's for sure is that any depiction or mention of Allah not being the strict monotheist God of Islam would not be accepted. So they would dance around it. I want to say peace to you, Sister Thickness. But you know what? Let's have a look at El from Encyclopedia Britannica. So El Semitic deity. El, the general term for deity in the Semitic languages, as well as the name of the chief deity of the West Semite. So in the ancient texts from Rashamra, ancient Ugarit, now Rashamra is in Syria. El was described as the titular head of the pantheon, husband of Asherah. So already, just like the brother said here, we have a god that has a wife. If we go to Asherah, Semitic goddess. Oh, is that one? Is no, that one is not in Louvre. Um, so Asherah, ancient West Semitic goddess, consort of the supreme god. Her principal epithet was probably she who walks on the sea. You see what they've put here? That her epithet was probably she who walks on the sea. When it's the middle nature, oh, it hasn't been deciphered. Oh, we don't know, we don't know. But here it says probably. Nobody's going to trip. Anyway, let's go back to El. So he's the husband of Asherah and father of all the other gods except for Baal. So the Canaanites were monotheistic.
That next
Now,
sentence there is very interesting.
except for Baal, his most common epithet was the bull, but he was also sometimes called creator slash possessor of heaven and earth. And indeed, Wassim Muhammad did talk about the bull, which was kind of at some point he was used as an anthropomorphic representation of God because he's probably the strongest, largest, heaviest mammal around, and maybe for other reasons as well. But I'm not dwelling personally on the bull stuff. So, although a venerable deity who was not active in the myth, which primarily concerned his daughters and sons. I mean, there you have it. He had a wife, he had daughters, he had sons, and he was a father of all the other gods. So,
Right.
except for Baal.
Yeah. So I think equating El and Allah on Wesley Muhammad's part is being disingenuous.
I mean, this PhD brother,
Well, maybe he knows something that we don't know. Okay.
He probably knows a fair deal that we don't know because he studied biblical Hebrew, and since he studied formally in the field, there's probably a lot of things that's inconvenient. But uh, this is the guy that will put a slide and says those were slaves, and his own slide says prisoners of war. So this thing that this Hebrews are trying to do recently, I'm familiar with it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show it so people can see.
I think I'm familiar with that debate. He was having a
Yeah,
debate with Tahuti, if I'm not mistaken.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I saw that debate.
And he really tried to vilify Kemet. I'm gonna go there, and I will do. Oh snap! Okay, I know there's one that's called caught line. Maybe lion was spelled if. Oh, I made a great mistake. I searched within my channel, and it is not on my channel. So there it is. This is actually on Unc Akek's YouTube channel. This is probably Brother Unc's first YouTube channel. And you see that video was uploaded 12 years ago. Now, I'm sharing the link in the chat, and let's listen up together.
See, you need a picture of God. These are Nubian slaves.
Now, at minute 205 of part 4, Elvis Presley Muhammad says, I quote, these are Nubian slaves of Kemet. But what does his own slide say? It reads Nubian captives at Abu Simbel. His own presentation says captives, but the little homie uses the word slaves. And then when it comes to 1,000 years of Arab Muslim slavery, the dude uses the word mistreated. Who besides the groupie Arabized Negroes can take him seriously? This is once again to show that it doesn't matter what the truth is with the groupies, it's what you tell them, even if it's right in their face.
Then you have Nubian slaves attached to the royal chariot of the burial.
And this doesn't just happen once. Still on part 4, minute 236, Presley Mohammed says, here you have Nubian slaves, but his slide says Nubian prisoners this time. So far, I show that Wesley Mohammed, without a doubt, he is willingly lying to our people. So shame on him. On the screen it says prisoners, and the dude says slave. It's like showing a picture of a mule and saying it's a horse. Better yet, showing the picture of a rat and saying it's a dog, as lame as hell.
So, Thomas III was to rejoice in the time when Assyria was able to supply our round with male and female slaves. What kind of slaves were these? They were, in this case, Syrian slaves who were black Syrians. Those red are black Syrians.
Now follow me. Wesley Mohammed keeps on talking about Thutmose II and the Syrian captives that he calls slaves. He goes on to ask, what kind of slaves were these? And he changes the slide, and you can see written in plain English, I quote, footstool of Tutankhamun, Nubians and West Asian captives depicted. So you have lame scholarship at its finest. He goes from Thutmose's slaves to Tutankhamun's captives. He's not even close to my level. He shoots himself in the foot so much that he is destroying his own lecture. And I know that Wesley Mohammed is scared right now.
That's it. That was just for the record. And back then, I had some nicknames for him. I even forgot that I used the nickname Presley, Elvis Presley Muhammad. But honestly, when he said throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw him out in the trash can, throw Ahmed rather slave making God away, I was kind of angry. So I use these little nicknames like that, and even Lila Homie, I used it. Then I'm not really. I've stopped using those nicknames a long time ago. Um, he knows what he's doing. He has knowledge. Uh, but unfortunately, he's known for being disingenuous in at many level. But what can I say?
Can I make a quick comment about uh, the Nation of Islam?
Of course, brother.
So there are a lot of problems with the Nation of Islam. Let's start with the whole notion about you drop your slave name and replace it with an X until you figure out what your real name is. And the whole reasoning behind it is that you don't want to be called by the name of your slave master, which I get. I understand. That makes perfect sense. But the problem is within the Nation of Islam, you drop the name of one slave master and assume the name of another, which in my mind is counterproductive and doesn't make a lick of sense. And it seems that the people in the Nation of Islam have no clue about African history because the Arab slave trade was in full swing 500 years before the transatlantic slave trade. So if the whole point of dropping your name, dropping your last name, is to disassociate yourself from your former slave master, well, it seems that you've gone 360 degrees instead of 180 because you found yourself right where you started when you drop your slave name and assume the name of another slave master. So that doesn't make any sense, right? But that's the Nation of Islam. From the beginning, it didn't make any sense because in its founder, Elijah Muhammad, you have a guy who part of his theology was to demonize white people, calling white people the devil, etc. But Elijah Muhammad was funded by a white Texas millionaire. So if the white man is so evil, if the white man is a devil, why then are you taking the white man's money to fund your organization, to bankroll your organization? That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, the Nation of Islam, it's not to be taken seriously, and I'll leave it at that.
That Texas millionaire or Texan millionaire Hunt, right? I don't think we have
H.L. Hunt, yes.
yes. I don't think we have evidence to support that. I think there's an audio of Malcolm X mentioning someone in Texas, but he did not name the guy. And a few other people have stated that it is him, but I have yet to come across some. Well, obviously, Elijah Muhammad would never state publicly that okay, that's where I got my money from. Um, he did state, however, in the 70s that he received millions of dollars from Gaddafi. I think it was $3 million, and in the 70s, that's really worth way more nowadays. Forgive me. And he said he was alone, but we never heard about them paying it back. Um, so I don't think either that we will have a statement from Hunt saying that he gave all that money, but um, Far Muhammad allegedly came to America in 1910, made himself known in 1930, and disappeared in 1934. But recently, I've shared the picture of Imam Muhammad Abdullah, I think his name is, and we have Muhammad Ali's former wife, Khalila, who stated that this Muhammad Abdullah was Far Muhammad. And she said that Elijah Muhammad introduced him to her as Far Muhammad. And Far Muhammad, just like Elijah Muhammad, were known to take on many different identities. So officially, Far Muhammad disappeared, but it appears that he was it could be reached, and he remained in contact with Elijah Muhammad. And on top of that, recently I've shared Elijah Muhammad's own son, Wallace Din Muhammad, who stated also that uh, um, Muhammad Abdullah was Far Muhammad. So those two were there. Let's say kind of from day one. Now, Khalila Ali, Muhammad Ali's former wife, she actually lived with that guy, that Muhammad Abdullah, who was, according to her, according to what she claims, Elijah Muhammad told her, Far Muhammad. So there are some things that we will never know. We'll never definitely have uh, some evidence or proof for, but it's interesting to listen to what many different people say. And they've been doing their thing, they've been doing their thing, but I hear a lot of people sometimes who like to defend him no matter what they teach. Like, for example, the teachings that I've been very critical about, that Africans are living a jungle life, and um Africans are not civilized. And when I hear them defending so much, sometimes I'm like, what if it's so great? If it's so good, then why don't you join? A lot of time, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not even tripping on that. They those guys do what they do. Same for the Christians, same for the Muslims, same for the Hebrew Israelites. But the Kemetic people, we just need to really, stand up, step up to the plate, and get organized, without any fence riders, so we can thrive. Because the sad truth is that a lot of people like to see, when they see numbers, and they are attracted and they respect when there are many people. So when you look at Kemetic people, we are a minority, and they feel like, okay, and not much popping up. And a lot of people who claim to be Kemetic are not really convinced, not really appreciative of the information, and most of the time they just don't value the records. And this is one thing I lament a lot, because I'm going through all those museums showing so many artifacts, and when I upload them, I get like 40, 50 views, sometimes a little bit more. But best believe, if Christians will upload videos of artifacts from the Bible, and I'm talking about documents from the time period of the era they're talking about, oh man, they will have millions of views. So we just don't value our stuff. And same with the language. It's not an obligation, but many times when people convert to Judaism, they learn Hebrew, and when they convert to Islam, then they learn the Arabic. And the people who learn the better nature are just so few. So ultimately, we are left talking about the Abrahamic stuff. Personally, I would rather, just deal with the meta nature and go through the meta nature, but people don't value it, so they're not really there. But it is what it is. We have to adapt. We have to adapt. But right now, this discovery right there, I won't let it go anytime soon. And once again, it's a good thing that people can see the Hebrew Israelites are not there. It's a hard pill, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, well, so like I said, I think we're going to see some new dance moves coming out of the Hebrew Israelite Christian communities. Um, uh, but all roads lead back to Egypt. Where
Mm-hmm.
these quote unquote Abraham religions are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the source. So, and listen, what I find especially dangerous about the Nation of Islam and these Hebrew Israelite movements is that they operate under the guise of Black liberation, right? And my question is, how do you liberate yourself using the religion and language of your slave master? How does that work? It seems to me that if you're going to liberate yourself, you will liberate yourself from the institutions that your slave master imposed on you, religious, linguistic, whatever. So going back to these or moving within these Abraham religions and giving up Christianity just to go back, just to go to Islam or Judaism. Well, these are the religions of the slave master, whether it be Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. So when you go back to when you give up your Christianity to go back to one of these other religions, you are going from the den of one slave master to the den of another. And what you've tried to accomplish, you've only muddied yourself even more. So I just wanted to add that.
But you know, there's something I want to show you. Now, okay, it's page 217. Regarding the slavery. So I'll go there. This page. Oh, we have Pan-African James. Hotel, brother, how you doing?
Peace. What's up, brother Shaka? What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm chilling, brother. Did you see that thing that Chris MVP Harris shared with us?
No, I didn't.
Oh my goodness. Let me show you.
when was this?
It's yesterday that he showed me that stuff. You know the seal of Hezekiah, the king of Judah.
Oh yes,
With the Ankh.
I seen a little bit of that. What you were sharing.
Yes.
I thought you were saying something that but Chris was sharing, but that was actually shared by some. I think Seti shared that about a couple of years ago, man.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
that's
it was discovered in 2015. That was 7 years ago. But you know, that's amazing to me because
no,
you
but
know,
they show all many artifacts of them using what we call Kemetic Hebrew-Israelite in their work as
iconography.
well. Yeah, so that's not new. I mean, but maybe that was a new finding, but that's something that Seti he showed years ago. I could even show you the flag of with the Heru symbol on it from the Persians.
Oh, feel free.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick.
Feel free. No.
Well, let me see if I can locate it. I may have taken all of my stuff.
So here was page 217. So page 217 here. Where is it there? Okay, I will have to do a search. So this. There it is. So in the meantime, this is what I want to show you regarding the slavery. So I'm going to share. Actually, I prefer to share on the tab because otherwise I don't want people to see all the books that I'm reading. Okay. Why is he doing this? Okay, I will try another way then. I will try another way. I'll copy it here. There. And now there it is. Now let's make it larger.
Yeah, give me a second while I look for this.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right, so let me share this here. Now, this is Black Arabia and the African Origin of Islam by Dr. Wesley Mohammed, PhD. Okay, so that's page 217. In terms of Nubia, Amir B. Al. Now, okay, never mind. Some of these characters, did not make it through, in that format. The conqueror turned governor of Egypt had a non-aggression policy. As Williams admits, and I think it's talking about Chancellor Williams, despite the continued raids by the blacks of the south, the Amir chose not to extend his operations into their land. This policy, however, will be revoked in 643 by then Governor Abd Allah bin. Now, you can see some of these characters did not really make through. Who launched an invasion of the northern Nubian kingdom of Makuria. This invasion was a failure, to say the least. The Nubians dealt the Muslims a devastating defeat, and again in 651-652, Williams, aptly describing this conflict as one of the decisive battles of history, perceptively remarks the psychological effects of being defeated by the blacks twice on national fronts caused the Arabs to adopt a peaceful relationship with these countries that lasted 600 years. This 600 year of peace was the result of the Bact. Now it says Baka, but it is Bact agreement signed by both parties at the conclusion of the 651-652 battle. The Bact was a non-aggression pact and a trade agreement between Muslim Egypt and Nubia, terms which were determined by the victors, Nubia. Number one of the Bact Treaty. We don't have any original. There are actually either copies or just people who mention and quoted the Bact. I'm not even sure if we have copies. It's probably some authors that's referring to this agreement, but there is no original in my to my knowledge. So, point number one: the citizens of each country were allowed free passage to the other with security guaranteed by the host country. Number two: a mosque was to be built in Nubia and a church in Egypt. Number three: 360 slaves annually sent by Nubia to Egypt in exchange for 1,300 ardeb of wheat and 1,300 something like a caner of wine, linen, and cloth. The last stipulation has been the focus of some criticism and misrepresentation in some Christian and Afrocentrist circles, with support even from Muslim misrepresentation. This part of the agreement is often described as a tribute imposed on the helpless Nubians by the lustful Muslim slavers, a covert plan to eventually conquer the Sudan. But this interpretation completely fails to take proper notice of a simple fact. The Nubians were the victors and therefore had the leverage. So it was a bit long, but all this to say that Wesley Muhammad, on his own book, wrote that when Nubia was supposed to send 360 slaves every year to Muslim Egypt, it was determined by the victors, which is Nubia, and they had the leverage. Now, since when people have the leverage and they are victorious in a battle, and they sign an agreement with the people that they defeated, and they agree to send 360 slaves in exchange for some wheat and linen. So that guy is just really more than disingenuous to me. But feel free, Brother Pan-African James, if you have found that piece you wanted to share with us.
Yeah. So again, Wesley Muhammad is being disingenuous, but that's essentially, I think, the goal and the purpose of the Nation of Islam from the very start was to be disingenuous. Again, convincing you to drop your slave name and then further convincing you to adopt the name of a slave master in place of your former slave master's slave name. So that is disingenuous. So, I think that's what we should expect from people like Wesley Muhammad. Not the whole truth, but part of it. But the truth, when you water it down with whatever it is that you water it down with, it ceases being the truth. It becomes something else. So when we talk about the Nation of Islam, when we talk about Wesley Muhammad and their message, it's something else, because it damn sure does not reflect the fact of the matter.
Indeed, disingenuous, and we're being diplomatic. So, Brother Pan-African James, have you found that thing? Not yet.
Man, I got years of folders, Shaka. Just
I
give me a
understand.
second.
No, it's okay.
Bear
It's
with
okay.
me.
It's okay. Take
But
your time. Take your
at
time.
the same time, we have to start. Like I was thinking to myself before I came on. Remember, I was telling you the last time I was on. I think that we have to do a better job as well. Instead of complaining, we need to do better with our presentation of the information to make it more palatable to people who want to watch. Like I said, I've seen Europeans take our history, whitewash it, and make it palatable to where it's entertaining to, grasp, even though they're lying about the history. So that's what I would say. But let me go ahead and continue trying to find it. When I do, I'll let you know.
Of course. Thank you, brother. Well, Babylon done. If there's any chance, can use a webcam, brother. Feel free to speak, brother Babylon done. We don't hear you right now, brother. I don't know if you can hear us, brother Babylon done, but we don't hear you. And we don't see you either. Oh, now we hear you.
I will open camera in 1 minute.
No problem, brother. Take your time. Our brother Babylon Dawn is here. All the other Hebrew-Israelite brothers and sisters are not here. But it's fine. It is what it is. Can't go against the records. Can't go against the data. Particularly when it's being deemed genuine, authentic by the experts. Man. Evenu Shalom Ankh. Evenu Hotep Ankh Alechem. Yahweh Ra. Amun Elohim. Hotep, brother. Shalom Hotep. Oh, yeah, okay. I think brothers having issues. If there's any Hebrew Israelite that wants to get on the panel, it's very easy. You have that pinned link, which remains at the top of the chat. And you see where it says, basically the last link. We only have 2 links here. First one is to join in order to be able to type the comments in the chat. And the second one is just to get on the panel. But the requirement to get on the panel is that you must show your face, brothers and sisters. If you don't want to show your face, it's your right, it's your choice, but you cannot get on the panel. I really hope Brother Babylon don't get his stuff fixed, because I'm not planning to stay too long. I really enjoyed the conversation, but I would have preferred to get that thing out of the way, because Brother Babylon Don really wanted to kind of go back and forth, with our brother, the Fight Doctor. So we can make this happen. It's going to be interesting. I think yesterday, brother.
I think I found it.
Okay. You know how to share, so feel free, brother. Babylon Don is back.
Hold on, let me see what I got to do.
You're on the panel, Babylon Don. We don't hear you. We don't see you.
I'm gonna open my mic in 1 minute, brother.
Yeah,
I
no
hear
problem,
you. I
brother.
see you.
Okay, no problem. No problem. You know, there might be so many other
I
artifacts
want to do
out
is
of Canaan where we can see this type of stuff. But next time I see anything similar, I will not let it go in vain. I mean, in the Louvre Museum, for example, there is a sphinx, a small sphinx that was found in those area. I think from Persia actually. But to find a Canaanite artifact with some Kemetic uh, imagery or iconography, that's something else.
I like it. Can you
Oh
show it,
well,
brother?
um, I
hello,
think
can you
I've
hear me?
yes, we can hear you, brother Panafrican James. Yes, we have the flag on the screen. It says the
Okay,
first
now
official flag of
this
Iran.
yeah, this flag right here is that's the first official flag of Iran, right? Now you look at
Hmm.
that. You see what I'm saying? So this is kind of like research. I don't know. Hold on, what happened? Uh, Can I hide this? I don't know if I want to do that. Well, anyway, this is the first official flag of Iran, and states, right? This particular. See, you see this? Can you see this image?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Can
Can you
can
hear
y'all
me?
see that?
Yes, the flags with uh,
Yeah. Okay.
well, it says with
Yeah.
Heron on them,
So
but
I
uh,
clicked to another one. I just want to make sure that you got all visions of different flags in different countries. I don't know how to pronounce this. Lombardy or
Lombardy.
Ventina. But just watch this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go through these flags.
probably Venetia.
See, but
Yeah.
this is
Where is
but see
Lombardy?
all this
I think
see the sun disc behind that.
it's in Europe.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
you see
Lombardy,
this.
that's Italy.
Excuse me.
Lombardy, that's in
Yeah, but see,
Italy.
you see the sun disc behind the bird here, the white bird there. So this is just stuff. This is I created, right?
Yes.
And I put the original Hebrew falcon back into the Pan African flag. But
Hmm.
see this is the Polish presidential flag. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they've done. This is the United presidential flag. So they've all
Hmm.
taken this and used it like we used it for their city state, to form their city state. This is the United Arab Emirate. You see what I'm saying? They're using the bird. So all of these people do the same. This is the old presidential seal, what they just had 4 stars or something. So I was just going through through the imagery and just showing, see, this is how they updated it and over time. But this is the older rendition of it. But see,
All
this is the
right.
first rendition of the American presidential flag. This is the first one. I think it's 1848. So you can see them stealing and using what we had to set up their own foundational state. I don't know where this is, but this is Russia. This is what when you see Putin, they have the double falcon head. But it's the same concept, right? So y'all see what I'm saying? See, this is the actual, artifact, right? You see this
Okay.
with the date,
Let's
with
see.
the actual, yeah. See what I'm saying? So these people are using our stuff to set up, and see, this is the Egypt, the one for Karen Day. But see, they see, so I just look at stuff and I pay attention to how stuff is done. See, that's Germany. See, that's Austria. So all of these countries have this. Here go Mexico. See? So this is these are all these countries are setting this up, and we are unaware, you know what I'm saying, of our own stuff. These are look at Afghanistan. See that sun disc kind of like image going over the top? So this is just like what I look at, and then I say, man, we need to get back, like you're talking about, to our own stuff, right?
Yes.
But this is
Um.
just
Mhm.
images that I've collected, just showing that everybody's using Heru in some type of rendition. See that they just replaced the sun disc with the crown, and then they made a double head, and they noticed he got something in both feet. Same thing. So I'm gonna stop sharing. But this just to make it interesting for our people, we need to start bringing forth imagery and stuff so we can start showing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I yield the floor there.
Mm-hmm. And here, thank you for sharing that, Brother Pan African James. Now, well, those are mainly eagles, or falcons, and well, for those who heard about the Horus or Heru, is represented as a falcon or eagle. But most of the time, Egyptologists would say falcon. Now, just
Can I build with the brother on that next?
yeah, feel free. Well, you know what? Just to show and prove, because you asked me to share. Now I forgot. I think I forgot which land I said. Maybe I said Persia or something like that. But this is Syria. I want to let the ad go. I think it's only 2 minutes long, so that's from the Louvre Museum. But I've shared the link in the chat as well.
Greetings. I'm in the Louvre Museum.
Yep.
This is the
Okay,
daughter.
while we put that up on a bird note, brother, I love the presentation that Teddy gave, that you gave on the bird presentation. I want to tie that in to the Revelations. Have you ever heard of Revelations 18, where it reads in 18:1? And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth lighted with his glory, and cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit. Now listen, and a cage for every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine. That's all the flags. For all nations have drunk of the wine, and all the flags have eagles, and all the nations are represented by 5-pointed stars. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You see? And watch this, hold up. Let's do 4 just to make it relevant. Let's do 4 to make it relevant though. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues, like COVID, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she have filled to her double. So now somebody here, we got to reward this Babylon whore, this harlot, this queen double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow,
So I have a
and shall
question.
see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Yahuwah Elohim who judges her.
So I have a
Go
question. I can appreciate the reading of scripture. I've always considered the Bible to be a poetic, uses poetic language, and I can appreciate how it, how the words come together. But my question is, why should any of what the Bible says and any of what you just read, why should any of that be taken seriously? I mean, after all, the Bible is a book that talks about mythological creatures like unicorns, dragons, cherubs, all types of creatures which I've never seen. So, again, why should this book be taken seriously? Why should I take the Bible seriously, or why should I take it more serious than a book talking about the man in the moon or Santa Claus? Because in fact, I would argue that there's probably more evidence for Santa Claus than there is for some of the mythological creatures spoken of in the Bible. So again, I can appreciate listening to the Bible and some of the things that it says, and I can appreciate it for what it is, interesting fiction. But why should we take it seriously? And what does any of that have to do with the topic of discussion at hand?
Okay, can you allow me to answer
Hold
that?
on.
Because remember
Yeah, of course.
yesterday we said we was gonna do one question at a time.
Yes, indeed, and indeed. But brother, please, Babylon, can you please use a webcam?
Yeah, I am. One moment, brother. I'm coming. I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm gonna use my webcam in 1 minute. Give me exactly 60 seconds.
Okay. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait. And if anybody else want to get on the, let me do that again. If anybody else wants to get on the panel, the link has been shared. It's in the chat. Our
Man,
brother
I mean,
Babylon done. Go ahead, brother.
I don't know how or what he just said. It was just like he went into it. I remember, when I was, in the streets, we would go to court, and then they would be speaking in a language, and we wouldn't know what they was talking about. That's what he just did. He just went and started reading about some stuff.
Yeah, he read the Bible.
Nothing to do. I know that, but that ain't got nothing to do with anything about what we talking about. As far as trying to solve out, as far as trying to solve what we're trying to find out as far as the history of our people. So I don't think, we already know that the Bible comes into existence very late in time. So I don't even know you do it in any type of context historically.
Well, let's allow our brother Babylon.
You know that too.
Is that a question to him?
Yeah, he knows this. I mean, like, the brother got gray in his hair.
Well,
I know he knows that this comes late in history. So I mean, hold on, Shaka, please. I mean, I see gray in his brother's beard, so that represents time and wisdom. I mean, it's no way that this brother can still be holding on to something so late in history at this particular time, after so many people have come and given us a correct chronology of history. I don't understand. So go ahead, but I already know this is not going to be good.
Well, brother Babylon, don't feel free.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say greetings, brothers. How y'all doing today?
Doing well. How you doing?
All of y'all.
Peace.
I'm doing my best, brother. And
Peace.
I was calling you brother Psych. What's your name now? Psych Doctor? I was calling you Psych Doctor yesterday because I could. Yeah, I was calling you Psych Doctor, and you didn't even correct me yesterday because I couldn't see your name like I can now because my phone's too little. Like the brother said, you see gray in my beard, so I can't see all the things y'all might think I can see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
But yeah, but on the birds, I'm gonna show the correlation. Your question, brother Fight Doctor, was clearly, basically, show me the correlation in the Bible to what I'm saying. Show me how the Bible applies to what I'm saying.
No, sir. That was not my question.
Okay, go ahead. You could. Okay.
So
can we go slow and you just ask the question?
Yes, sir. So we're going to wind it back.
Just ask it. I trust you.
Okay, so from our conversation
it's my turn
yesterday,
to talk. I just want you to ask the question.
Yes, sir.
I just want you to ask the question.
Yes, sir. I'm going to ask the question. So from our conversation yesterday, the question was, there were two questions. There was a question about the ethnicity of Abraham, but I posed a question.
No, I'm talking about today. I'm talking about today. We're only talking about today right now. We're not talking about a debate. We're talking about when you just asked me. You went through a whole series of questions, and you sat there and you said, "Show me." And Shaka and Duga had to interrupt you, and I said, "Let me answer."
So my question was, why should anything that you pointed out in the Bible be taken seriously? To put it in context, and to put my question in context, the Bible is a book that talks about mythological creatures like unicorns, dragons, and cherubs. Okay, and I think that everyone on this panel would accept.
Yes, brother, but you got to learn how to ask a question. You just said that. It's my turn to talk on it. You just said that. You just
All right.
said that. You don't have to re-put it in context. You asked the question, brother.
Okay. So, all right. So
let me answer the question.
Okay.
Well, here's the problem. You see,
anything?
Okay. Well.
Why
Just
should
hold on.
anything?
The fight, though.
Why should anything?
Go ahead, brother. I was going to say let us.
Is he not satisfied with his?
Well, what I
ahead,
want
brother.
to,
Yeah,
what
bro.
I
This is what I'm
like.
saying.
Wait.
Don't say nothing, Shaka. Please don't say nothing.
No, let's let our brother Babylon done. Go ahead, brother Babylon done. Go ahead. I want to hear your answer.
Man, look. See, like this is what I'm saying, and I want to say this clearly. What you have to do, brother, fight, doctor. Now I see your name, bro. You got to allow us to have a conversation. Now, if you're not confident in your questioning, that's when people try to add stuff and add things to their question. We agreed yesterday clearly that you would come in and you would ask a single question and allow that question to be answered. Now today we allowed you to ask the question.
Right. May I respond?
No, you can't. Not in the middle of me talking. No, not in the middle of me talking. No, I have to be able to talk. The brother been on the show. I listened to the show. I should be able to talk without the brother interrupting me. Brother, can you mute your mic and show some patience?
Well,
I told you I didn't come here for that today.
But brother Babylon, the question is, why should we take the Bible seriously? Okay, just that's the question. Because
okay,
he talks about
Shaka, but we have to set the grounds of. Yeah, Shaka. If I don't set the grounds, Shaka, I'm going through the thing the whole show. I have to set the grounds at the beginning so this don't go on the whole show. Please allow me to do this. I'm being patient with the brother. I'm showing respect to the brother. I'm talking to the brother with common sense. I'm asking the brother to be a participant in the language game that I would like to play in our conversation on air in front of other adults so that we could come across like we have good sense and my points could be made in his too. And we could be taken seriously, not put each other down, not cause jokes or nothing, but really talk about this Bible thing that he is so against. I sense his emotions. I sense his debate against it and his dislike of using it. So let me explain it. So now, what's the question again, Shaka and Duga? Ask it clearly.
All right.
So wait, Shaka, if I may. Now,
okay, go ahead. He's going to rephrase the question because you asked.
Brother, this is a problem because you're asking Shaka for my question when I'm sitting right here. Now,
go ahead, brother Fight Doctor. Just
now you mentioned that you want to have conversation and discourse. Conversation and discourse. So how do we do that? We have conversation and discourse when people are conveying ideas, which means you have your time to say what you have to say, and then I respond, and then you respond. You respond to my rebuttal. Yes, but brother, first and foremost, I think what needs to be understood is that a conversation is something that's mutually agreed upon. Meaning, you do not lay the groundwork, okay, for a conversation. The groundwork is something that is mutually agreed upon. Are we clear? Am I clear? So, if I'm going to ask a question, brother, it is not, my question cannot take the framework that you decide it should take. The question that I ask will take the framework that I decided it will take because it is my question. And if I'm going to be honest and ask the question honestly and seek an honest answer to an honest question, then I have to frame it as I see fit. And I'm going to do my part to ask the question in an honest fashion and not in a fashion that is malicious, if that makes sense. So can we agree on that?
Is he frozen?
Yeah,
it looks like he's frozen.
Oh, yeah. If you can hear us, brother Babylon done.
Bro, anything that's good that you said, I am speaking. It's probably a little bit of each other. It's probably a little bit. Don't everybody get to go contemplate It'll be okay. Our brother say that I agree to all of them. They seem pretty reasonable. I'm with that.
Your audio is breaking up, brother.
Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit, but now we can see your camera is no longer frozen. So just try it again. I think we might have some delay, but try again. Keep going, brother Babylon Don.
Okay. Let me see if it's working now.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Is it working right now?
Yeah, we
Yes,
hear
it
you.
is.
Okay. So I heard the brother. I said yes. I would like to hear the question now.
Okay, so the question is, why should the Bible be taken seriously? And I would like to provide some context for the question, which is this. The Bible is a book that talks about mythological creatures, unicorns, dragons, cherubs, etc. So given this context, given this understanding, I will restate my question, or ask my question a second time. Why should we take the Bible seriously?
Okay. There's two ways I can address this question. And one of them is that by you bringing up the context part, it nullifies your question, because now I could just answer questions about unicorns and things like that. And if you say that unicorns don't exist, then why would you bring up a mythological creature in a conversation about real history if you talking about something real? Why would you include anything about something that you don't even think is real, that's not even relevant to the conversation? The only thing you're really asking is, why should the Bible be? No, I'm not asking anything, brother. I'm asking for you to allow me to make my statement. So why should Bible be taken seriously? Let me answer that question. It is because the book that I'm reading from, first of all, is not the Bible, brother. Okay? I want you to understand that. It's not the Bible. I'm reading a book called the Book of Revelation. It's a part of the book called the Apocrypha. It was never intended to be included in the Bible. Now, secondly, this book was written in 96 AD by a man named John, son of Zebedee, and Shalom was his mother. Okay? Now, this book talks about things that will happen, because it's the revelation, hidden things being revealed. It talks about things that were supposed to be taking place now, according to the book. According to the book says that there would be 4 nations. One nation would carry. Now, remember, you showed flags. I'm putting this in context. You showed flags with a bird on each flag, and you said the bird represented Heru. Now, I could go to Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. Brother Shaka, could you pull that up? Revelations 11, verse 8? Or just Revelations chapter 11? And pull that up?
Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Could you please pull that up? Okay, now let me keep going though, because we're showing why should the Bible be taken seriously. And listen, nobody shouldn't say this is taking a long time, because this is a deep question that people have asked for over the whole wider conscious community been going on. And people wondered this for thousands of years. So we finna answer a thousands of year old question right now on this show. Why should the Bible be taken seriously? So, Shaka.
No, but hold
go
on.
ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna keep on trying to get this out. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
but
it. In the midst of that, I'm not gonna do it.
There's no need for misunderstanding, brother Elder. I just wanted to ask you the exact passage. You said Revelation, and then what was the chapter and verse?
Chapter 11,
Yes.
verse 8.
So I'll go to 11, and then okay. So I have it there.
Question for you, Shaka.
Oh no,
Are
wait,
you-
wait, wait. We're gonna let the brother finish first, but after I will talk about the time for the answer. But here you're free. But after that, we're gonna have to agree on some time. But go ahead, brother Babylon, and I've put it up on the screen like you asked me to. Now feel free to continue, brother.
Okay, okay. We're not in a debate yet. We just answering a question. So we're not
It's
talking about time. We haven't started anything. We just doing the
no
show, right?
after
I'm
you're
just
free to
showing
speak.
something. I'm answering a
You're free
hard
to speak.
question.
You're free to speak. Yes, you are.
Okay, now I can't see what you got up there. Could you read Revelations chapter 11, 7, and then 8, just so we can get some context from 7, then go down to 8? Because I can't see none of that.
Sure,
I'm just with
sure,
y'all.
sure. So Revelation, chapter 11, verse 7. Now, when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. Their bodies will lie in the public square of the great city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also their
Stop right
Lord
there.
was
Stop
crucified.
right there. Okay, stop right there. We want to talk about where it said it'll be a spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So this city, Babylon, will be a spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So one of the representations to us in our language, in our biblical language, this is why scientists, Immanuel Kant showed no physicist or scientist should even try to argue with people on a spiritual level, because we deal in metaphysics and you deal in physics. And if you're a scientist, you can't say nothing about metaphysics, because metaphysics is outside of the realm of things that you can measure, that you can put in a vat or a test tube. So you have nothing to talk about metaphysics. So we're talking about something that's been prophecy in metaphysics. So when it says that they would be a spiritual Sodom and Egypt, that shows you now that when I read Revelations chapter 18, listen to this. It reads, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon. Now that's the same city from Revelations in chapter 8, 11:8, when it says, the city, Babylon, the great is fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils, right? Now, and the hold of every foul spirit. It said it'll be a spiritual Egypt and a spiritual Sodom. That's the foul spirit, the Sodom spirit. And the Egypt is the fact that the whole thing has a pyramid on the dollar bill, on the money in the country. And right now, you claiming to be Egypt, right? Right now, y'all claim to represent Kemet, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And every flag you showed had an unclean and hateful bird on it. And I added to that and said, yes, and every one of those nations is represented by a five-pointed star. And I could turn to Revelation chapter 13, 18, and you will see where it says, count the number of the beast, for the number of the beast is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And I'm counting the number of the beast, and I'm seeing his number in 18 right here, Revelation chapter 18. I saw it in Revelation 11, 8. And now I'm seeing it in Revelation 13, 18. And so I see that somebody that laid down a biblical mathematical code. So I know there's a mathematical code here now, along with the prophecies that's being made. The man say 2,000 years ago that you will know that the number of a man, the beast, a man, and the beast and the man would be the same, would be 666. Right now, you found out that you 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons, and you still can't see that this man 2,000 years ago has shown you and told you the things that you will be finding out. This man, John, 2,000 years ago said he was told by a man named
excuse me, brother.
of
Can I
2,000
interrupt
years
you for a
ago.
second, please?
No. Yes, wait
Because,
1 second. I'm closing right after this one. I'm closing right after this one statement. I'm closing right after this one statement.
Okay.
This man John this man John say that this man Joshua told him clearly that it would be 4 nations, and 1 nation would be represented by a bull, and that was by a lion, and that was Babylon. That was gold. One
brother,
nation
can I
would be
interrupt you
represented
for a
by a
second, please?
bull. That was Greece. That was Greece. One nation would be represented by a bull.
Yeah, can I interrupt you for a second,
by a
please?
lion. That was Babylon. One nation would be represented by a bull. That was Greece. One nation
Brother,
would be
can I interrupt you
represented
for a second,
by a
please?
man, a devil.
Brother,
That was
go ahead, wrap. Bro, you say you're gonna wrap it up,
wrong.
brother?
And one nation, and one nation, and one nation, and one nation would be represented by an eagle, and that was United States. And that was 4 beasts represented in the Bible over 4 nations 2,000 years ago. And he mentioned the plagues that will come upon the earth. And you're in a plague right now called COVID-19. And if you spelled out the word COVID, is the number COVID-19. The number is 666 because it equals 72.
Brother, can I interrupt you for a second,
6
please?
feet deep. And that's the
because
distance that
we've
they tell you
gone
the standard
way
part
off topic
is
here,
6 feet.
and we've
So
gone on a
everything
tangent.
that I'm saying is mathematically
brother
recorded
Beverly
in
Dunn.
the Bible.
Yeah, brother.
Okay,
brother,
right, okay. Wait, hold on. This is what I want to propose, so it can be fair. I'm proposing that everybody get a chance to speak, and we're gonna go, like clockwise. If somebody doesn't have a question, he can say, okay, I pass. I let the next one speak. And I'll propose 3 minutes. If you want to take, if you text less, that's fine. And what I will do, when you've reached 2 minutes, I will just say there's 1 minute left. Is that fair enough for everybody?
That sounds fair to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's better. So
no, it's okay. It's okay. So, go ahead. The fight doctor. I'll start your time now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, brother Babylon Don, I appreciated your soliloquy. However, there are some problems. First and foremost, you never answered the question. My original question was, why should we take the Bible seriously? Now, you've gone on and on about the spirit of Sodom, biblical language, metaphysics, and these other topics that you touched on. But my question remains unanswered. So I will ask the question again. And if the panel will agree to give you another 3 minutes.
Don't ask them again, bro.
Well, I need an answer to the question. And then if the panel will allow, and I'm hoping that it will, the brother Babylon Don another 3 minutes to answer the question, which I will ask again. Why should we take the Bible seriously?
I'll answer them one word: prophecy. Everything I said was prophecy. The reason why you should take the Bible, the book of Revelations that I just read, is prophecy, because it was written 2,000 years ago, and I can make 2,000-year-old prophecies and correlations to everything that you just said right now and beyond. That's why.
All right. Well, that was a short answer. So everybody's free to ask anybody a question or to just make a statement. So now it's a Pan-African James' turn, and there's no obligation to answer. If somebody want to say, okay, I don't have an answer or I don't want to answer, it's fine. So Pan-African James, do you want to make a statement or ask a question? You're muted, brother Pan-African James.
Is it on me?
If you want to, it's up to you.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
no. Wait, hold on, please. Now, Pan-African James first. We're gonna go clockwise.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. I was
my
muted.
phone is kind of funny. So, well, it's a couple things. First, a couple comments right before I get to my questions. People keep showing the pyramid and the eye on the dollar bill. And then you turn around and you do what Kanye does and you say, but the Jews run everything. And now you're mad at the Jews who run America and Hollywood, but you stay going to see movies, you stay supporting the system, and you still keep being upset with Jewish people, but you're supposedly Hebrew-Israelites. Strange. It's just strange behavior. The other thing, when you start talking about Revelation, and we start talking about the pictures of the Amduat, they just strangely fit together so well. And so the pictures of the Amduat look just like the descriptions of your revelations often. I believe John H.C. Skippy put a book out on it. I think I got it right over there too. So we may get into that today concerning. And then the third thing, my brother, my Hebrew Israelite brothers, because y'all are brothers. Y'all are brothers. If you guys are mad at Israelites, but you're emulating Israelites, what are you doing exactly? It's like a hypocritical stance. I'm a Shemsu Asar. I follow Asar. That's an African god. We know it's connected to African ancestry. We can trace it back all the way to where I'm DNA generated, the Congo, where we see the Congo brothers, what you would call the Twa, being taken over there, as well as going over there, buried in Abju, what you would call Abydos, and doing the Asarian dance. So when you say that we're not African and things of that nature, and oh, we're backwards and this, that, the other, last time I checked, America was built off of Roman premises in opposition to Egypt. They just admired Egypt because all of the ancient world did. So you as a Hebrew Israelite, what is your stance concerning how we are Israelites? You know, when you have old ancient Hebrews like Benaiah, son of Yah, who was buried in Egypt as Paheka Amen. And remember, he had the choice to change his name back to Benaiah. He chose Paheka Amen, servant of Amen, over son of Yah. Where's your real stance at? Why are you guys so upset with ancient Kemet? You know that you didn't have issues with ancient Kemet until the Ptolemies. So why are you mad at the black folk in ancient Kemet?
Okay, it doesn't show well when I try to show it. So, Brother Babylon Don, do you want to respond to that? You're muted, Brother
The
Babylon
last
Don.
question right there was, you know you didn't have problem
I
with
would
the
love
ancient
to. I
folks
would
in
love
ancient
to answer
Kemet,
that.
the black folks. You had issues
okay,
with
hold
the
on.
I would
Ptolemies.
love to answer the beautiful
Okay.
question
go
before
ahead, brother.
anybody
Okay.
make another comment.
Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. Well, it's on you, Brother Babylon Don. Go ahead.
It was a beautiful series of questions, brother. I want to say that, and I see that you have read, and I really like that. So I would like to start right where we picked off. Now you assume that I don't like the Jews, but I'm quite sure you're familiar with the scripture that reads, I know those who say they are Jews and they are not. I know those who say they are of Judea and they are not of Judea. They are the synagogues of Satan. So that statement by Yahshua, the Messiah, who wrote the book I'm quoting, tells you that there will be a set of people that will come and say that they are of Judea or Jews, and they are not. That set of people are called Ashkenazic and Sephardim. They call themselves Jews. Now, Ashkenaz is the son of Gomer, who is the son of Japheth, who is the brother of Shem. Ashkenaz, being the brother of Shem, cannot be a Jew. Ashkenaz is a Japhethite or Gomerite. So Ashkenaz, Jew, is someone calling themselves a Jew, and it's the synagogues of Satan. And there is no Sephardic or Ashkenaz of the 12 tribes mentioned among the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. So there's no Ashkenaz or Sephardic Jew. So these are the synagogues of Satan.
Brother.
As for Kanye, you assume that we like Kanye, or some Hebrew Israelite group that associates themselves with Kanye, which I do like Kanye. Hey, he is a great artist, yay. And he has a biblical name, yay, meaning you. Now your name is Shimsu. That's the name of my tribe, the Shem people, the Shemites, not Semitic, but the Shemitic. And the Shem priests of Egypt are my people. So you're right. We are the Osar people. We know who we are. And when you say Abju or Abidos, do you know what the Abju is? I leave you with that question. And do you know what the Abidos is?
Abju is the fish.
And I mentioned that Egypt, that's right, the part of fish that swallowed the penis of Osiris.
All right, Brother Babylon, that's 3
Now,
minutes.
the
That's
Roman,
3 minutes, brother.
when you,
Brother
I mentioned
Babylon,
Roman, okay, last one. I mentioned, okay, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, brother. We have time. So, Pan-African James. Oh, we lost Babylon Dawn. Feel free to come
Yeah.
back if you can hear us, brother. Well, if the question is directed at the brother Babylon Dawn, it's probably best to wait for him to come back. Did you want to ask a question for Babylon Dawn, brother?
It's not. I don't even think he needs to be here. I mean,
No, don't say that. Don't say that, brother. Don't say that.
I'm just saying. I'm not talking about it in a physical way. I mean, like not in no type of negative way like that. But what I mean is, what I have to say, it's just not going to even matter anyway, because he's going to do what he's going to believe what he wants to believe anyway.
Let's be
But before brother Asar had asked the question that he asked, he was talking about that he could go back 2,000 years with the written script of his people or his history. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, why would you do that when you know that it's people that was writing prior to that? So it seemed like from his last answer that he's saying that he's going to now conjoin the Hebrew history with the Egyptian history and just call it a day. That's what it seemed like he just said before he got off the call. Like he said that what Asar is, that's conjoined the Shem. He's conjoined Shem with the Shem Su now. You see what I'm saying? So this is how these people shift the goalposts after history gets revealed to them. They don't discard the falsehood of it. They just remix their history off into the history that's the truth and keep it moving, and then try to confuse the next generation with a remixing of the falsehood that they created just to hold on to what they want to hold on to. That's what he just did. This man said he's a Shem Su Heru. He said, yeah, I'm Shem. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to just listen to what he just said. Instead of accepting the chronology of what the history of Dr. Ben and Sheikh Diop and our ancestors have revealed to us, he wants to remix it and hold on to the falsehood. That's dangerous.
Dance moves.
So we just gotta, this is a serious situation right here. I don't really take this lightly, what he's doing, and I don't think we should allow him to be able to mix history. We shouldn't allow him to mix history in with with the falsehood that he just did. He just perpetrated on us right live on this show. That was just crazy. And then we didn't even have a chance to rebuttal and be like, man, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to come up with some type of documentation to prove what he just said. And I end right there.
All right. That's 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Now, Brother Babylon Dawn, do you want to respond to that? Looks like the brother is not there. So what we can do is Radio 1's turn now. Is it a statement you wanted to make or a question to us? Oh, here's Babylon Dawn is back. Brother Radio 1, well, feel free, Radio 1. You want to speak?
Yes,
Okay,
brother. Can you hear me?
now. Yes, loud and clear, brother. Feel free to speak. I start your time now.
Peace, Shaka. Peace, brother Fight Doctor. Peace, Pan African James. Peace, Asar M. Ka, and peace, Babylon Dawn. I want to first of all say to brother Fight Doctor, when you asked me about yesterday about the peninsula, the Greek word that's used for that is called Akte, A-K-T-E. Okay, it means peninsula, promontory, headland, and coast. Yeah, so it can mean coast and all. Yeah, but it's called Akti, A-K-T-E. That's the Greek word that was used. Yeah, yeah, just I'm saying you can look that up if you want to, but yeah, that's the word that it's referring to when I read that passage yesterday from Herodotus. Yeah, that's the word. Now I got a question for Brother Babylon Don, but he took off. So
yeah, I'll look into that word. Thank you.
Yeah. That's yeah, it means headland, you know, it can yeah, it's all the same meaning, coastal region, headland, you know, just what I say, like the it's pretty much all the same thing. But yeah, okay, yeah, I got a question for Babylon Dawn. Yeah. Okay, there he is. Yeah, brother Babylon Dawn. Okay, now I heard you mention the Jews being descendants of Ashkenaz, or the son of Japhet. So that tells me that you believe in the biblical genealogy in the Table of Nations, correct?
Well, there was 1 minute left, but if you stop
Yeah.
there, then you know the time will be over, and he
No,
will
he
just
can go ahead. He said, "I
Yeah.
believe in what? I'm
Do you
willing to
believe
wait."
in
He said, "I believe in what?"
the biblical genealogy and Table of Nations?
No. If you're talking about the Hebrew-Israelite 12 tribes, no.
No. The Table of Nations mentioned in Genesis 10. The Table of Nations
Table of
mentioned in
Nations
Genesis 10.
mentioned in Genesis 2.
Genesis 10. The Table of
No,
Nations.
no, I don't subscribe. No, I don't subscribe to any of that labeling of Table of Nations. No.
Okay, but you just said that that the Jews are descendants of Ashkenaz. That's Genesis 10, the Table of Nations.
No, I did not say the Jews were descendants. The Jews were descendants of Shem. I said the Jews are the fake Jews are descendants of Japheth. The fake Jews, those who say they are Jews and are not, are descendants of Japheth.
Okay. Now,
Well,
I'm
that
gonna get
time.
to my question. I'm gonna get to my question. Okay.
Okay, please ask the question, because your time is finished.
Okay. Now. Okay. Now, being that the Jews are mentioned in the Bible, the fake Jews is what you call them, as Japhet. Okay. At least they're in the Bible. So my question to you is, who are African Americans in the Bible?
All right, Radio One, start your time now. Feel free to answer. I'm sorry, Babylon done.
Okay.
My mistake. Babylon done.
Okay.
I made a mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Now, first of all, I'm gonna go back to the other brother. Well, first of all, I'm gonna start with Radio One. Radio One, African American is a misnomer. A person can't identify as two different continents at the same time. Africa is a continent and America is a continent. Judah, one of the tribes of Israel, one of the tribes, Judah, which I am, is a nation. When you look up the word nation, you'll see tribal nation. So I'm of the tribe of Judah, of the seed of David. So I am a tribal nation, of a tribal nation. Now, that's African Americans, what you call African Americans. We are not African Americans. We of the tribe of Judah. We are a tribal nation. We too have a flag. We too have land. We have a language. We have a law. We have a bloodline, a lineage. We have all four of the L's: language, land, and law, and lineage to be a nation. That's who we are. Now, the brother said, hey, he don't know that America is Rome. This is Rome now. I say to the brother, if they would have allowed me to finish naming the four beasts mentioned 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelations, I was naming them. The first beast was Babylon, represented by a lion in gold. The second beast was Greece, represented by a bull. The third beast was Rome, the Roman Empire. The fourth beast is the European Commonwealth, the Queen of England, and the United States, the 7 heads and 10
1 minute
horns,
left, brother.
50 states. Okay, the 50 states plus 1, that's Israel. So you have the 4 beasts mentioned 2,000 years ago: Babylon, old Babylon, Nimrod, Greece with Julius Caesar, the Macedonian, the Persian, Rome with Julius Caesar, and Babylon with the 7 heads. Again, I stand on my word that the ancient name of Egypt is Kemet, one of the names of Noah, the brother of Shem. Another name of Egypt is Mitzrayim, one of the sons of Noah, one of the sons of Ham. So the Bible is linguistically tied to the land of Egypt. And you said after Ptolemy, I'm going to get to you. And you said about Beni Yah, and I'm going to get to it. Don't worry. I'm going to wait my next turn. I'm going to cover everything you said in your questions, brother.
All right, that's time now. It looks like you were reading Babylon Done, but you're free to do anything you want. Now, the Fight Doctor, it's your turn now.
I'm reading my notes. I'm reading my notes. I'm reading my notes. I'm reading my notes. I'm reading my notes.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, the fight.
Back up. This is all right here, bro.
It's of the dome. Okay, it's from the dome. So, brother, the Fight Doctor. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
yesterday we talked about a term that I think we need to rehash for this conversation. That term was intellectual honesty, and I was hoping that there would be a degree of intellectual honesty in this conversation, and I'm still hoping for that. But before I get to my question, and hopefully the brother Babylon Don can still hear me, we need to address the problem of the book of Revelation not being part of the Bible, if I heard you correctly. Last I checked, when you go in the Bible, there you find the book of Revelation. So, I mean, look, it's pointless if you know, in the course of this conversation, that we can't have some honest discourse. And I think it's dishonest of you to pretend as if the book of Revelation isn't somehow part of the Bible when clearly it is. Now, having said that, the question is still unanswered, which is, or the proof is still missing, which is, where is the evidence for Abraham? What we were discussing yesterday. Now, before you can have a Judah, before you can have a David, before you can have the 12 tribes of Israel, before you can have any of that, you first have to have an Abraham. So I'm asking, do you have evidence for Abraham?
All right. So, brother Babylon Don, I'm ready to start your time. But you are muted, though. Yeah, okay, now you're unmuted. So I'll start your time.
Okay, brother Shaka. Before we start the time, we need to be clear on the question. The question is, where is the proof of Abraham? That's the question.
So,
okay. The question is.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
The question is, where is the evidence for Abraham?
All right. So now I'm starting your time, brother Babylon Don. Brother Babylon Don, feel free.
Okay. Now, first of all, like I said earlier, you have to be able to say that we have a biblical question here, and Abraham is a biblical person. On the one hand, you say Abraham is mythological, but yet you ask about this mythological person, and you ask for evidence of this mythological person. Then when I go to the book that you call mythological and show you the proof of this mythological person, you say no, that mythological person can't exist. And then I say, how can you say a mythological person can't exist when mythological people, that's what they do, exist mythological? So the question is to you, before I answer,
that was great.
What my evidence what my evidence of where Abraham is, whether there's evidence of the existence of Abraham, you have to answer the question whether or not you're gonna allow the book that Abraham is in and the burial place where Abraham say he is to be evidence of the place where Abraham and evidence
Okay, can I answer
of the
that
proof of
question?
Abraham.
Shaka, may I answer that question, please? May I answer that question?
Well, I'd rather you take a note of it so we can keep the order, if you don't mind, brother, the fight doctor. So next, I would really like to do it clockwise. It'd be easier for me. So it's going to be Pan-African James and Osiam Card and Radio 1. So Pan-African James, did you want to say something?
I mean, this is amazing.
That's
It's
like your
almost
time.
like entertainment. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
loud and clear.
like this is like entertainment, but it's not really funny because we're grown men, right? And we're really supposed to be on a mission to try to find truth. I'm not sure if the brother is understanding about chronology, and that everything that he's talking about is out the window when he uses chronology to try to justify the origins of history or anything like that. So even though I think we were just talking about Abraham or something like that, but if you got a birth date right on Abraham, you will see that he's after certain parts of history. Even if you start to go to Adam is going to be late in history. You see what I'm saying? Like what year? Let me just ask Babylon Don here, just for the sake of it. What year do you give the birth of humanity? Do you use a biblical timeline, or are you using any type of scientific tools to make your analogy? That's what I want to ask you. So do you just use the Bible, or do you use science to make your determination on the origins of humanity?
Brother Babylon Don,
I don't use neither.
Start your time.
So we can't have a conversation with you, brother. Okay, go ahead.
Can I answer the question, brother?
Yes, you can, brother. Go ahead.
Golly, bro.
It's okay, brother. Go ahead, brother.
I don't use neither. I don't use neither, nor do I need neither to answer that question. I can use my own evidence, experience, and reason and logic to answer that question. I don't have to conform to either science, which is theory, which is a bunch of people making a hypothesis and a bunch of people agreeing upon something, saying that they have degrees or experts in something, and they all agree upon it, and they agree upon a theory, and you accept it as being a fact, and that's not a fact at all. Anybody can divine theory, and they'll find this out. And there is no such thing as proof in science. And all science, as we read yesterday, is based wholeheartedly on belief. Every single scientific thing, if we look it up, we're going to find the word belief. Believe me, we could do it today if you want to. So science is based on belief. I teach mathematics and I teach linguistics. I'm a mathematician and a linguist. I've studied all types of philosophy and all types of logic. And I'm telling you that science is nothing other than theory, and religion is theology, and both of them based on thesis and antithesis, and it's two wings of one bird, and both of it, what you're talking about, is trash. So now, in reference to chronology, I do know anything I need to know about chronology and time. That's not a big word to me, or the organization of chronology. If you say Abraham came here, I can admit that Abraham predates a person. Nobody is retarded here. And but I'm saying that there was a man wrote a book named John 2,000 years ago, and he said that there would be he said there would be an eagle, and the United States is an eagle. There would be a bear, and there is Russia, a bear. There would be a dragon, and there is China, a dragon. And there would be the kings of the earth, and there is Saudi Arabia. And right now, these are the four beasts that's involved in a war right now in Ukraine with NATO and everything that's happening on the planet Earth. And y'all want to sit here and make everything I'm saying is going over y'all head when y'all see the facts that everything I'm saying can be applied to the book of Revelations. And when the brother asked me, oh, the book of Revelations is in the Bible, I'm going to get to that. That's a silly statement when I just told you the Revelations is in the Apocrypha. Look it up while you got time before you make another statement. The Revelations is a part of the Apocrypha. It's not a part of the canonized Bible. All of this is man-made.
That's time.
Go
Brother
ahead, Shah,
Babylon done.
before you have to tell me my time up.
Yeah, that's time now. Thank you. Now, we have Chris MVP Harris. So we have Osam Card and Radio One, then Chris MVP Harris.
Yeah, give me a second, Brother Shaka. I'm about to go come in through my computer here.
Okay, feel free. Okay, I was just going to tell him the 3-minute system. But Brother Osaimka, would you like to contribute? Okay, maybe our Brother Osaimka is a bit busy. So, Brother Radio One, would you like to contribute?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start your time.
Yeah,
I can share your screen. Yes, and I'll start your time.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to respond to what the brother said. Okay. Now, first, okay, this is Israel on Wikipedia. Okay, and I just want to we're going to go through this again. Okay, and I don't know how many times I got to tell you, but you are dead wrong when you say Israel is in Africa. Okay, and it says here, Israel, okay, officially the state of Israel is a country in Western Asia. Okay, it doesn't say Africa, it doesn't say Northeast Africa, it says Western Asia. So that debunks your claim that Israel is in Africa. I've been telling you that all along, but you're not listening. Israel is not in Africa. Israel is in Western Asia because Africa and Asia has to do with borders. It has nothing to do with the tectonic plate. Okay. Now, if you're going to say Israel is on the tectonic plate, that doesn't mean that it's in Africa. Okay. That just means a small part of the tectonic plate is in Asia. Okay. So Israel is not in Africa. Africa is the bigger part. It's the large part, the majority of the tectonic plate. That is Africa. Okay. So you're wrong in saying that. Okay. Now, and I'm going to go to the table of nations map here, okay? Now, because you sit up there and said that we African Americans are from the tribe of Judah and we're from Shem, okay? And I asked you about the Ashkenazi. Okay, we can see here on the map here. Can you guys see that? Let me blow it up some. We see here.
Yes,
that
we can see it. And you have 1 minute left, brother.
Yeah, Japheth is in the north here, okay? Japheth, look, Ashkenaz, okay, right here in the north, okay, at least those fake Jews you talk about, at least they're mentioned in the Bible, okay, but you sit up here telling us that we are Israel and Judah, okay, or we come from Shem, okay, but we see here, Shem is over here in Asia. Look, we come from West Africa, okay, Shem, Judah, Israel, that is not you. That has nothing to do with you. That is all the way over here in Western Asia. So you cannot sit up here and tell us that we are descendants of Shem and Judah when we're looking right here on the map and seeing that it has nothing to do with West Africa. We come from West Africa, okay? Unless you can prove that the slaves were taken from Israel or Canaan or their area from the land of Shem, this has nothing to do with you, and you're living a lie, and you got to stop lying to our people, okay? We are not
that's
Shem.
time, brother. Radio One.
Yeah, we are not Israel, and Israel is not in Africa, and I'll end on that.
All right. So, brother Samka, you were supposed to be before Radio One. So now that you're here, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start.
What up, Asar? Long time no see.
Brother Chris with my Steeler wear on over there. You know
what up, boy? What's good with you?
Man. Let me state this for my brother. I always hear Israelites quoting the Bible. No Israelites that I know quote the Tanakh. And I had a discussion with a few of them concerning because when we go into stuff like Bit and 57, there's a beef, and Jesus professes to the beef that he was wrong in self-worship. This is in your Tanakh. And not only that, the Toledat Yeshua says that Judea and Jesus are fighting in the sky, and Judah knocks him into a urinal, and he comes out smelling pissy, and then he shoots him with a a sperm arrow and kills him. This is in the Bitten and the Toledat Yeshua. And this is why I'm assuming that most Hebrews don't usually get into their Tanakh, because the Tanakh defends Judah, which you guys usually Lion of Judah, but then you still uphold Yeshua. But it says Ankh, who is the brother in that particular story from Egypt, calls he's a necromancer, as they say, and he calls them alive. And when he calls them alive, he asks them how they reside. Jesus said, I am in the hellfire. So if you're a Jew, my brother, and let me show you guys something real quick. If you've never seen this book before, I'm just going in the bathroom because we got babies, as y'all heard. My man, John H.C. Pippi, PhD, who I helped him with a few of these things in this book. But you can see right here, I showed this in a few debates. These are the same names of the Israelites. And we have the names from the Amduat.
Yeah, you have 1 minute left, brother.
Okay. Oh, we got time. So we see the names from the Amduat right here. This is where the Jews get their names from. And so to sum this up real quick, because like I said, if we go into the Amduat, we'll find a lot of information concerning. But in the Bitten, Judea, Bitten 57a, I want to say, Judea beats up Jesus. How do you still defend Jesus knowing that Hebrews in Israel defend Judea over Jesus, and Judah in particular? My good brother.
All right. Bobby London, I'm sorry, because actually after Radio 1, I was supposed to let you reply. Chris MVP Harris, you're next. Just to let you know, maybe you've heard it before you got on the panel, but we have 3 minutes, and when there's 1 minute left, and I'm just saying, there's 1 minute left, brother, and then people don't have to contribute. If they want, they can pass, and they don't have to speak for 3 minutes. Of course, if they want to make it shorter, they can make it shorter. And of course, if the question is directed at somebody, then that person, is entitled to respond. So, Brother Babylon Don, did you want to respond to what was said so far by Radio 1 and Osaimka? Brother Babylon Don,
Yes,
did
I
you want?
sure would.
Yes. Okay. So I'll start your time now.
Okay, regarding Radio 1 comments, he mentioned Israel, and he showed the map of some cartoons. Anybody can make a map, but that doesn't make it a biblical map, or that doesn't make it an ancient map, or a historical map, or a historically correct map, like the Mercator map that they use now on Google is a misrepresentation of the sizes of the lands and stuff like that. So until you pull up a first order map drawn by somebody in Egypt of the land that Egypt owned, which would include the land of Canaan, because Egypt ruled the land of Kadesh, which is Canaan. There is a battle of Kadesh in Egypt that you can look up that shows that Egypt ruled over Canaan, that Canaan in the Levant is not in Asia, that it is in Africa. We can talk about that, the death of us, when a river that crosses over one continent into another continent, and that's what you would be saying if you saying that the Nile River that turns into the Blue and White Niles, into the Tigris and Euphrates rivers is in Asia, then you would be saying that that's in Asia. Your mistake is that you don't listen long enough for us to tell you what happened in the land when Peleg was alive and the land was divided, and there was a split where Saudi Arabia split right there where you get your Saudi Arabian peninsula, since you want to talk about peninsulas and stuff like that. But that is really the African Ocean and the Ethiopian Ocean.
1
Okay,
minute
now
left, brother.
let me talk to the brother about the Jew. Okay, let me talk to the brother about the Jews get their name from the Amduat, because that's all he really said. First of all, the Jews that y'all are talking about, that y'all keep giving credit to, we done already that those are not real Jews. I'm not gonna keep on repeating that because it's like my whole Facebook shut down because I'm the only one saying it. It's just like y'all get a kick out of that. So I'm gonna keep my network up now because I see what y'all brothers trying to do. So we're gonna say this, that you can make a claim that the Jews get their name from the Amduat. I don't know which set of Jews you talking about, whether you talking about us, the real tribe of Judah, or the fake Jews that's the tribe of Ashkenaz or Sephardics. However, we don't get our name from anywhere. I didn't prove that the name of Egypt, the priest in Egypt name is Shem. Can anybody deny that? Answer that. Is the priest name is Shem?
All right, that's time.
And if the
That's
second
time,
set of
brother.
priest
It's
name
named
I
Sem, actually. Sem, not
Brother
Shem.
Babylon, yeah,
Shem.
I said
that's
Shem.
time.
I said
That's
Shem.
time.
Shem.
Yes,
No,
that's
not
time,
Shem
brother.
with an
Like
SH.
Kemet.
Sem.
Okay,
Right.
Sem,
No
please.
priesthood in
KH,
Egypt is
the
called
that's
KH
Shem.
and the SH the same.
that's time. Yes, please,
No,
please. That's
SEM. Shem
I would
Su
like to
is
ask
a
a
different
question real
word for
quick.
follower.
okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me get this for a minute.
Yeah, and sorry, just hold on. Samka, if you don't mind, if you can put the title of the book in the chat, please. I'm interested. So, brother Chris, I'm ready to start your time. I don't need to ask you if you want to contribute. So I start
Yeah,
your time now.
This is going to be real quick because I'm hearing a lot of sweeping statements that this gentleman is making here. This is an ID, and this is a Florida ID. This proves I live in the United States of America and I am of this nation. This ID proves that I am a citizen, not a denizen of the United States of America, which is a nation that is consisted of 52 states here. I always make a mistake and get ready to say 50. Excuse me. Can you show us any documentation proving that you belong to the nation of Judah? Go.
That was brief. So, brother Babylon, then I presume you want to answer. So, I'm ready to start your time now. Go ahead. Your time has started.
Hold on, Brother Shaka. Before he answers, do I still have time to ask him another question, or is just one question and that's it?
Yeah, it's like one question. So when you have the time, you have to use it. Until you think you're finished, or until I'll tell you, okay, the time has run out. So
okay. I
yeah,
thought we can ask him as many questions as we want in our
well,
allotment of
okay,
time.
well, okay, well, if you want, I can start the time over again. So now you know how it works. So you want me to start your time over again?
Okay, yeah, please.
Okay. So I start your time now.
The same thing again,
Okay.
but I want to.
Okay, I start your time now.
Okay, cool. Like I said, this brother is making a lot of sweeping statements here, and a lot of questions. A lot of times, I hear people asking him a question. What he does is he tries to reframe Radio 1's question. He tries to reframe the Fight Doctor's question. He tries to reframe Pan-African James' question. He tries to reframe Asar M. Ka's question. The question I'm going to ask you is simply, you should be able to answer this yes or no. This is an ID. This is a state of Florida ID right here. This is my driver's license. This proves that I am a citizen of the United States of America, which is a nation that consists of 52 states. Do you have any documentation proving that you are of the nation of Judah? This is why I'm asking this. You made a claim. It was a statement claim that you made, and you said you had a flag. Can you show us this? Because if I go online, I can show you our flag here in the United States of America. Can you show me your documentation proving that you are of the nation of Judah? This is what you said. And can you show us the Judah flag and when it was established? You have the floor. Go. That is very clear, cut and dry.
Now, that was like a minute and a half. Now, really, if somebody has 3 minutes, it should be okay to ask the other person a question. But I think what might happen is that when the person will answer, He might not answer quickly, and then when you're gonna say, "Okay, that's my time," okay, I want to move on. The other person might say, "Oh no, but you cut me off. I didn't finish." So I think it
Right,
might be
right. It's
better.
called,
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah. You
called
see,
filibustering.
yeah.
But I want him to answer that and show us to
Yeah.
it. Can he show us that right now?
So, Brother Babylon Don, I'm starting your time now. If you want to reply, Brother Babylon Don, it's on you. If you want to reply, if you don't want to, you can say you don't want to.
And so the question is not even a realistic question. Like the question don't even make sense to say like, hey, I have proof. I have an ID. My ID is proof. Your ID don't prove nothing to me. Your ID
Okay,
could be as
pause.
fake
That's a
as
good
you
enough
are.
answer. He doesn't have
Your
it.
money.
That's a good
Your
enough answer.
money.
He doesn't
Wait,
have
No, you
it.
Chris,
can't. No, you cannot.
you have
You
to leave.
cannot
Yeah,
interrupt me,
yeah.
bro.
It's
You
okay.
don't
I
know the
give you.
rules. You
Wait,
cannot
it's okay.
interrupt me.
It's okay, Babylon. I'll give you an extra 10 seconds. Okay, go ahead, Brother Babylon Don. Okay.
Your ID could be as fake as you are. Your money could be counterfeit as you are. I have no reason to believe because you go online and show me a flag with 50 stars on it that you part of a nation with 52 states. If your nation has 50 stars on it and your flag has 50 stars on it, and you say you got 52 states in your nation, then all of your states are not even represented on your flag. Secondly, I heard your president say you only have 51 states. And I heard your other president say you have 57 states. So I think you need to answer the question, how many states in the nation that you live in? And you can't. You don't know how many states in the United States. And before this thing go off, I want you to tell us exactly how many states in the nation that you claim to be a part of, called the United States.
Okay, can I finish? Can I
So
reply
that you can keep
briefly
your
to this
time,
real quick?
Shaka.
No,
No, it's
reply
not
briefly?
your turn.
I'm
It's
sorry. I'm
somebody
sorry.
else's
Yes,
turn.
You
yes,
You
actually
don't
yes,
get
just
to
finished.
respond
yes,
on
I
that.
have a right to
yes,
reply. He said he would
yeah.
give me 10
I didn't ask
seconds.
you
Yeah.
nothing. You wait.
Mm.
You
I'm not
answered when
about
it's
to
your
ask you
turn.
anything
Hold
else.
on.
You're very immature.
Yeah, you always come somewhere
What's
thinking you're gonna run something, bro.
one moment? One moment.
You
Okay.
like a little shit.
Okay.
Name
No
calling,
ad
some
hominem
priest.
needed. It's not needed. It's not needed.
It's not.
No, I'm gonna have to move on somebody. But actually, when we started, I think we had 4 guests. Now we have 6. So I propose that we move to 2 minutes. So when 1 minute is gone, I will just say 1 minute left. So now we are back to the fight doctor. So did you want to say something, the fight doctor?
Yeah. So
Okay, so I'll start your time now.
Again, intellectual honesty, and I hope that we can be consistent with our logic. Now, you just gave the brother a lecture about the validity of his ID and whether it proves anything or not. I want you to hold on to that same line of thinking. Now, with regard to the question concerning Abraham, you seem to think that the Bible is a source or is evidence for Abraham's existence, and it is not. Reason being is because the Bible is not a primary source. Now, the story goes that the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, was written by Moses. Now, Moses comes some years, some generations after Abraham. So therefore, the Bible's account of Abraham is not a first-hand account. Now, when we go to Egypt, we have documents that are contemporaneous with people like Ramses II, King Tut.
1 minute
In
left,
fact,
brother.
not only do we have documents that are contemporaneous with those kings, we have their mummies. So this is primary. These are primary sources. This is direct evidence that these people lived. So I'm going to ask you again, do you have, I'm going to rephrase the question. Do you have direct evidence for Abraham?
All right. So, Brother Babylon Don, I presume you want to answer. Do you want to answer? Because there was a question directed at you.
Yes, Shaka.
Yes? Okay, so I'll
Obviously,
start your
that's
time.
why I'm
Remember, it's
here.
2
I wouldn't
minutes
be
now.
on this
Okay.
set.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start your time now. Go ahead.
Yes, I wouldn't be on the set if I didn't want to answer the question. I do want to answer the question. You don't have to ask me that over and over. Okay, so now, regarding the word primary source, I'm going to teach these brothers a lesson here today that no statue on Egypt is not a primary source. No text in Egypt is a primary source for the life of somebody living. All of that is interpretation. All of that is a group of people, mostly from the people that I'm telling you about, called Jews from the Rockefeller Museum right in front of Israel. The reason why they're there to cover up our truth, and you overlook this fact, but they there, and they are the archaeologists and the books that you read. So that's the primary source you get, including the finding of the seal that the brother Shaka Ndugu showed. That
1 minute
seal
left, brother.
by Hezekiah. Say what? Okay, yeah. The seal left by the seal found by that archaeologist is something that the Jews found and they put forth. So you call that a primary source. So that's a primary source, and that seal has Meduneter on it. That's a primary source. And the seal was worn by a Judean king. That's a primary source. So what are you talking about when you say we don't put for a primary source? As Shaka Nduga is that seal found by the archaeologists in Israel at the temple we talking about of a black king named Judah. Ask him, is that real evidence or a primary source? Or as you said.
All right. So now it's Pan-African James' turn. Did you want to say something about the Pan-African James?
Well, not necessarily Babylon down at this particular time. I think I'm pretty much through having a conversation with the brother. But anyway, you know,
I'll start your
for
time
the rest of the panel, I don't know what can we do to try to what do we do to try to have a real dialogue amongst people of like minds without having people interject stuff that we've already clearly went past. You know what I'm saying? And use the information that we have in a constructive way to try to, because we all pretty much have an agreement that the chronology that the brother is using is not correct. You know what I'm saying? So at this particular point, and then, you know, it's seemingly that he's never going to even try to pivot or even try to gain an understanding of what we're talking about to try to maybe even get an understanding of what we're saying. You know, that like we have people like this. So, I mean, it's disheartening, but I think at some
1 minute
point,
left,
what I'm saying is, yeah, I got it. But at what point do we move on in trying to even have these type of conversations with people that are pretty much stuck in their way? You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't necessarily have to get him to agree at this particular point, but I do want to try to see what we can do with the information that we can use to try to make it more palatable to the people and valuable. So with that said, I'll close out.
Thank you. So now it is Radio One's turn. If you want to, did you want to say something, brother Radio One? You're muted, brother. So I'm going to start your time as you unmute yourself. But you're muted right now, brother.
Yeah,
Okay,
can you hear me now?
I'll start your time now.
Yeah, okay. Now, first of all, this brother Babylon Don, he is in denial of everything. Okay, you say the hell with the Bible, you're in denial of history, you're in denial of geography, and you're even in denial of your own Bible. So pretty much everything you're saying, you're just making it up. Okay, you have no source to back up what you say, because you're in denial of everything. Okay, now you sit up here and said Israel is in Africa when I just showed you on Wikipedia where it says Israel is in Asia. Now, why do the map makers place Israel in Asia? Because they're going by what the history says, okay? Not what your fake tectonic plate theory says, okay? That's why Israel is in Asia, okay? Because Israel is not in Africa, because like I told you
1
before,
minute left, brother.
okay? Like I told you before, okay? Africa has nothing to do with the tectonic plate. Okay, so yeah, you already been debunked on that. Okay, now And you keep saying that Israel is in Egypt. Okay, but the point you're not getting is our ancestors were taken from West Africa. Okay, that west coast of Africa, not Israel or that northeastern corner. So you ignore that question. Okay, so I'm asking you, okay, what does West Africa has to do with your table of nations? Okay, because if you can't prove it with the Bible, and if you can't prove it with BCE historical sources, everything you say is pseudo. It's pseudo. Okay, and everything you're saying is made up.
That's
You're not
time, brother.
sourcing anything. And
That's time, brother.
yeah,
That's time. Thank you, brother. Now, brother Ben London, I'm ready to start your time. You told me I don't need to ask you if you want to answer, so I'll start your time now.
Yes, brother, man. Thank you so much, Shaka Nduga, for keeping this show going, brother. I thank you for allowing us on this show, brother. And I mean, I know the brother's upset, and I just want to say to the brothers that if you guys were scientists, you guys would come up with a scientific answer or remedy to what I am saying to you. You guys respond emotionally, all out of context, all on all type of levels, but I don't see nothing that y'all have put forth since y'all with sources. Show me a professor, a PhD, somebody who agrees with y'all. Show me something that shows me wrong in a PhD book that y'all stand on. Show me y'all proof. That's why the argument with the flat earth stands up because y'all can't even prove
1
it
minute left,
wrong.
brother.
Yet y'all call yourself scientists. Y'all can't even prove it wrong. You can only say what you know is right. And when I ask you what's right, I say I go to the Bible, and you say, well, I go to this textbook. And I say, who wrote the textbook? You say, this man. Then you say, well, who wrote the Bible? I say, a man. You say, well, that man is a fake. And I say, well, the man that wrote the textbook is a fake. Y'all full of it. Y'all ain't trying to get nowhere with nothing. Y'all just sitting up here trying to create a religion and an organization just to say, that and my homeboy just brought me a note, by the way. He just threw a note on my table, said that y'all full of it, basically. But anyway, answers to my question. Y'all never answer my question. I want the answer to the question of 50 states. And this show was for me. So if we talking equality,
That's time, brother. That's time, brother. That's time, brother.
Okay.
That's time. Thank you. Thank
But
you,
Shaka,
Brother
you
London.
didn't give me enough
Yeah.
time.
What? No, it's the
Shaka,
same time as
I want to
everybody.
say something to you though, personally.
Give us some more
Can I
time.
say something to you personally?
Okay, well, go ahead.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
say something to
Be
you
brief. Be
personally,
brief,
Shaka.
please. Yes, be
Shaka,
brief, please. Yes.
This personal. This has nothing to do with the show, but with them.
Okay.
Shaka, my personal statement to you is it's a word called equal, and it's a word called equitable. And right now, I'm not getting equitable justice because each one of them makes a statement and they go around the table, and I have to answer all of their questions in my 3 minutes. But they get to make all of their statements in 3 minutes. Do you see the inequality in that?
Well, I beg to differ because you don't have to answer the questions. It's on you, and you are the one who's speaking the most because most of the questions are directed at you. So, if maybe you
I'm speaking.
And I didn't ask you a
We taking
question.
turns. Everybody get equal turns.
I didn't ask you a question, so
yeah, you see, I mean, and you don't have an obligation to answer. You can say I pass on that question. It's totally fine. And if you want to ask somebody a
if I don't
question,
answer all their questions, then they gonna say I avoided all the questions. Yeah,
No,
crazy, man. Go ahead.
I mean,
I'm
you're
with though,
being
Shaka. I just
jumped.
want to point that out. I just
yeah,
want to
but
point
I
that
mean,
out. I'm good.
I
I
understand.
understand.
I
I'm good.
understand. When I was on Sanetta, there's somebody a sister who said that I wasn't answering the questions, and I mean, I can live with that. So, brother, so I'm sorry to insist, but please, before I start your time, can you tell us the name of the book, please? The one you showed earlier.
Toledat Yeshu. This is the Toledat Yeshu, right?
Okay. How do you spell that, please?
TOLEDOT.
Yes.
New word Yeshu. YESHU. SHU. And this is just for our Hebrew brother, just so he knows, because what we find, Brother Shaka, and my fellow Hebrew brothers and the brothers at the table with me, when you talk to our Hebrew Israelites, none of them use the Tanakh. But we all know in the Bible, if you're not from Israel, as Chris pointed out, or if you weren't born there, or you haven't used your right of return, you're a Gentile. So everybody's worshiping Jesus. And you can worship Jesus, but that would make you a Gentile, not a Hebrew. And so in this book, I'm just going to point out real quickly, because Jews in Israel feel this way, black, white, whatever. Let me just read this quick paragraph. And brother, if you can, point out what you see as a discrepancy, or how you feel about this book, because
hold
all
on,
of
hold
Judah
on,
does.
but Osamka, hold on, because I'm about ready to start your time. But you're saying that the no problem. The title of the book is Tole Yeshu. That's the title of the book, right?
Yes, sir. And the other one is.
I'm sorry. Please,
Tanakh.
please, can you please give me the name of the author?
You know what? I'll send it to you, family. I'll just send it to you before we get off the line.
You mean the physical copy or the PDF or the?
Yeah, the PDF. Watch, I'll send you a PDF right now.
You have my email address, do you? Or do you want me to
I don't put it in the back chat, please.
Okay. No, I'll put it.
I think I did before, but it's been so long since we emailed.
I'll put it there.
Can you put the link in the chat?
I will, absolutely. Hold on, let me.
Oh yeah, okay. So here, I've put my email here. It's public, and here in the back chat as well. So, all right. So I'm ready to start your time now, brother. Ready on? Sorry, brother Osamka. So I'll start your time now. Yes.
Hold on 1 second, family. Let me put this in the chat for you. Can I even put this in the back chat? I tell you what, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna log in with my computer. This way you can all see it with me.
Okay. Hey, Asar, can I drop my last line and then I'll leave while you look for it?
Okay, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Absolutely.
I'm starting your time now,
please.
brother Chris.
Hey, Asar, hit me up too, by the way. I still got your number. I'm gonna hit you up. I gotta ask you something real quick. I want everybody to notice what this gentleman just did. I didn't come on here asking him about his Bible. I didn't come on here asking him about any of the kings of Israel. I didn't come on here asking him about his deity. I came on here asking him about a question or a statement, I asked him about a statement that he made concerning him being of the nation of Israel. One more time, the question is not about 57, 52, or 53 states. The question is about, where do you live today? What nation are you a part of? What can you prove? It's called a very objective conversation. And I held up an ID and I said, this proves I live in the state of Florida. When you get pulled over by the police, they ask you for your ID. And you do not hand them an ID saying that you come from the nation of Judah or Israel, because there's no ID in the world that exists called the nation of Judah. And I dare you to hand him Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
1 minute left,
they're going to look at you and they're going to say that is utterly ridiculous. All right. Now I see that the brother left, and that's understandable. You guys have to practice asking them direct questions. When you ask them direct questions, they get offended. He's not offended at me. He's offended because he's embarrassed to answer the question based on a statement that he not just made. I'm not going to ask you about Hezekiah because I don't believe Hezekiah existed. I don't believe he existed as a Judean king. You want to know why I believe he didn't exist? He was not a king. He was a vassal. That's why you see the Egyptian onks on there. And if you understand the historical timeline, you would know that that entire area were vassals to the nations that was ruling around them. Now, we may have a problem with the chronology, but one thing that we can prove is the temples, is the writings, is the bodies, is the artifacts. When it comes to you all, you guys rely on something as a Hezekiah seal to try and prove that he was somebody from David's lineage. We don't have any writings from this king. We don't have anything. And remember, guys, this was a Bronze Age people. Egypt predates the damn Bronze Age, but yet we got writings, artifacts, temples, kings, proof. These guys are what? A 6th century BCE people? and they don't have anything to prove that they existed.
All right,
So,
brother, that's
like
time,
I
brother.
said, what I'm saying is this: I can close out, but these guys hide your daughters from these guys. They have.
No, see, look at that. Look
That
at
being
this.
said, I'm peacing out, Shaka. I'm finna clip some of this, and I'm gonna show that this brother says science cannot be proven, which is one of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard. This is what the Bible does to your brain. It's crack.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution, brother MVP Chris Harris. Now he did not have a question, so we can move. I think now we're back to the fight, doctor. Now, Chuck Morgan, I hope you've seen the link. You are welcome to get on the panel.
Come on, brother. I thought it was my turn.
Yes, it's your turn. So I'm going to start your time now. Go ahead, brother Osaimka.
Can I share my screen real quick?
Of course you can. I'm resetting the time, and okay, as soon as I put it on. Okay, so now I'm starting your time, brother.
So I'm not going to get into the full story. I'm just going to cover this paragraph, and then I'm going to ask the brother to respond to it. So, however, the connection between the two Hebrew compositions goes beyond the opening episode, which has been the sole focus of the comparison thus far. Both are also characterized by overt, at times brazen, eroticism, a fact that incurred the rage of religious leaders, especially in the case of the Toledat ben Sirah. Both describe homosexual encounters between the evil descendants of Ephraim in the bathhouse and ben Sirah, and Judah defiling Jesus in this manner in several versions of the Toledat Yeshua. The spilling of semen in vain, Jeremiah in the bathhouse, Judah spraying it on Jesus as he chases him in the sky, and adultery and illegitimate relationships with Lilith, the queen of Sheba, and the animals in the ark in ben Sirah. The impregnation of Mary by a lustful adulterer, and later her own acts of adultery in the Toledat Yeshua.
1 minute left, brother.
Furthermore, like ben Sirah, Jesus is discovered to be a child prodigy as soon as he is brought before his teacher, and like him, he treats his teachers with arrogance and disdain. So anyone who's read the Tanakh knows this. This is why the Israelites in Israel don't love Jesus or Yeshua. They love Judah. So my Hebrew Israelites, while you're fighting over there, rest your soul, Ben Ami, he thought he was going for a good cause. They didn't even give him his citizenship till he was about to die. And the conversion for Americans over there is 0.something% to get citizenship. When you see this stuff and see what Israel actually believes, how do you still hold on to Israel and not just fully embrace Christianity because you are a Gentile if you're not born there, brother? Go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right, that was about time. Well, there was no question, so
no, that was the question. That was the question. How do you embrace?
Man, that was clearly a question, Shaka. Why
Okay, my bad. I'm I've put Chuck Morgan on and checking the stuff. So I'm sorry about this. So, brother Babylon Don, feel free to hold on. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, that's it. So, brother Babylon Don, feel free. I'm gonna start your time now.
Yeah. First of all, I want to put on record that the brother never answered the question about how many states there are in the United States. And none of y'all can either, since y'all scientists. I challenge y'all to tell us how many states is in the United States, since all of y'all part of this nation. I looked up the word proof, and the word proof is evidence or argument establishing or helping to establish a fact or the truth of a statement. Not establishing the truth, but establishing the truth of a statement, that the statement is true. Not that the thing actually happened, but that the statement is true, that the person actually made the statement. A trial impression of a page taken from type or film and used for making corrections before final printing. That's a proof.
One
to
minute
proofread,
left,
basically. Able to withstand something or damaging resistance. That's proof, like foolproof, waterproof. Denoting a trial impression of a page or print work. Again, proof. So I say that to say that most of y'all don't know what proof means, and that's the trouble. So y'all can't prove nothing because proof is exactly what I just read. Now, as far as the Tanakh, and the brother mentioned the Tanakh, we read the Torah, not the Tanakh. I'm not one of your Ashkenazic or your Sephardic or your Zionist or your Jesuit Jews. I'm none of those Jews. So all of that you said is irrelevant. I done told you that the Rockefellers are running that Jewish organization over there, and no wonder Ben-Ami couldn't get citizenship because the devil in control of our land. How silly you sound for even saying that. That's like you saying I can't get citizenship.
That's time, brother. That's time, brother. And you know, once again, ad hominems are not necessary, in my opinion. So we have Chuck Morgan. Welcome, brother.
It's silly. That's not a homonym.
To the panel. How's everyone?
All right. In case you don't know, the system is just 2 minutes. You know.
Oh yeah.
But
no, that's good. No, I
yeah,
just had a quick question for the brother. Was it Babylon Dunn?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start your time. Okay, brother Chuck.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay, I'm starting your time now.
It's more of an inquiry. In regards to the Abraham origins, I just wanted to ask a simple question of: do you know of any text from the city of Ur that's been excavated that mentions Abraham, or any of the stories that are circulating? That was it. No.
All right. So, Babylon Dunn, is on you. I've started your time.
Okay. Now, a lot of people think this is a deep question when they ask about Abraham being in Ur. I'm going to say it for the 1,000th time. I'm an African. I'm born in America. Maybe according to y'all belief that somebody has some right to write that I'm a citizen and I'm born in America and I got an ID and I walk around with it and the ID gonna make me be American. If that's what you believe, go ahead. But just because Abraham family, now the ark, it clearly states that the ark was in Africa and the flood happened and the ark was pushed all the way as far as Arafat. When the ark supposedly landed on Arafat, the people walked down out of Arafat, down into Sumer, down into Egypt, down into Africa. This is what the story tells us, that the people of Noah, they got off the ship, the children of Shem became Shumer, Shinar. Shem became Egypt, the Shem priest. Kemet, Ham became Kemet. Mitzrayim, Ham's son, became Kemet. Nimrod, Cush became Cush. That's Ethiopia. That's Babylonia. What are y'all talking about? Go ahead. I'm done.
All right. The fight doctor, it's your turn.
I think we need to be asking you that question.
I didn't go
what
yet,
are you
brother.
talking about? Because again, I think you need to understand, and it's a bit two-faced and of you, a clear double standard where you would demand of us that we give you evidence from some PhD, but you refuse to return the favor. So far, the only thing that we've received from you is basically what you say and what you've been able to quote out of the Bible, which again, the Bible does not constitute a primary source. This is ridiculous. The idea that Noah's Ark first existed, you haven't proven that. Two, when did Noah's Ark, when did the Bible say anything about Noah's Ark landing in Africa? Last I checked, Mount Arafat or Ararat is in Turkey, okay? Far from Africa. And you still hold on to this concept that Ur of the Chaldees is in Africa when clearly it is not. So yeah, you need to give up some sources, extra biblical sources, for Noah's Ark having landed in Africa, Abraham being an African, okay, Abraham existing, okay, you need to prove that. And then where is your evidence that African Americans are somehow linked to the tribe of Judah? Because we haven't seen any. You've been talking about that on and on for the last hour, You have not given us an iota, not a thread of evidence, not a shred of evidence that African Americans have anything to do with the tribe of Judah. So I'm sitting here with bated breath, waiting for that evidence. Please, can you show us anything that says African Americans are in any way connected to the tribe of Judah?
All right. Ready on. I'm sorry, I've skipped you. So just in 2 minutes, it's going to be your turn, brother. So, brother Babylon done. Feel free. I'm starting your time now.
Okay. So when the brother says extra biblical sources, what he means is there anything other than the book that you use, the book where the story that we talking about, is there anywhere other than the book that the white man says I can find what you saying? That's all he said. He just said, can you show me where the white man says what you are saying, Babylon done? And I'm saying to you, no, the white man is a liar and a cheat and has told you a lie from the start. And you won't find the truth with the white man. I'm speaking the truth, and the white man is a liar. So no, I cannot give you a white man that'll tell you the truth. Now, as far as extra biblical sources again, if I do an extra biblical source, it'll just be another man.
1 minute
You
left,
say
brother.
a man wrote the Bible. You say a man wrote the Bible. So you want me to go to another man to prove what another man said. And I'm a man myself. You sound ridiculous. Y'all really need to get up out of the story of somebody needs to provide some sources, and you haven't provided a single source on nothing you said. And African Americans being a part of Judah, we done read all types of scriptures to y'all and done showed y'all how we are in the scriptures as slaves. We fit the prophecy. I done told you 1,000 prophecies on this show. And when people play it back, they're going to see the prophecies that involve Babylon, the United States, Rome, Greece, the European Commonwealth, and all of this is relevant. COVID-19, and you still missing it. I told you they got you standing 6 feet apart, which is the depth
That's
of
time,
depth
brother.
for COVID.
That's
6
time.
feet
Thank
deep,
you, brother.
666.
Thank you, brother. Now, ready or one, feel free to speak. I'm going to start your time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step off after this, brother Shaka, for a while. Now we see what he's doing. Okay, he sit up here and say that he is African, but then he turn around and say, "Oh, ain't no such thing as Africa. Ain't no such thing as West Africa." So we see that he's clearly contradicting himself. Okay, and that's why he denies the sources. Okay, he say, "Oh, well, the Bible ain't real. This ain't real." Why does he do that? I mean, why does he do that? Because he says it because it gives him the green light to just lie and make up things. This is what he's doing. He's lying. So that's why he says, "Oh, this ain't real. That ain't real." So he can get the green light to lie. Okay. Now, you said that it's about what we need to show what the PhD says. No, to me, it's not about the PhDs. It's about what the sources say.
1
Okay,
minute left,
the
brother.
sources is the authority, not the PhDs. Okay, and based on the sources, okay, the word Israel does not belong to you. Africa, Israel belongs to the Bible, which you don't believe in. So you're just making up everything you say. Africa belongs to ancient historians, not to you. Okay, so when you go by the sources, then you will have a solid foundation and you can speak truth. Okay, but your belief that you are a Hebrew Israelite has no historical truth in it. Okay, your belief that you are a Hebrew Israelite is just based on your fantasy and your imagination, and you just made it up. And if you made it up, it's a lie. Okay, and that's all I gotta say. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna wait for his response, and then I'm gonna take off, brother Shaka.
Thank you. You ended just before the time. Um, I'm gonna go clockwise because I'm a bit confused. But there was no question, so we can move straight. Let's say to Chuck Morgan. So Chuck Morgan, feel free if you want to say something.
Peace, Shaka. I'll be back.
Yes. Peace, brother Radio One.
Ray One clearly asked the question, but let's move forward.
Okay. Well, okay. Radio One, did you ask a question? Otherwise, I missed it. I'm sorry. Did you ask a question for Babylon Done?
Not as not I can remember.
Well, I don't remember either. It's okay. Let's continue. Let's
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Chuck Morgan, did you want to add on?
Not really.
Not really?
I mean, he just answered it. It's just a question that I have been asking various individuals that may
Okay, I'm
hold
starting
on
your
to
time.
a particular
starting your time.
may hold on
Go
to a
ahead.
particular system. I was curious about that because that's something that I kind of get into as far as textual sources and things. So I was just wondering, had he come across anything that mentions as far as a text is concerned from the areas of Or and Sumer? I mean, I haven't come across any, so I was just wondering had he had heard of anything, read it, or know of any. That was all.
Thank you, brother Babylon Done. It's on you.
He already answered that question. He said no.
But I would like to respond to what the brother Chuck Morgan, if you giving me the opportunity, Shaka. I couldn't really hear the last part. That's why I was quiet. Is it
All
my
right.
turn?
Okay, I'll start your time again. Yes, it's on you.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, Chuck, it should be fairly easy to see that if the Garden of Eden is in Africa, if the beginning of the Garden of Eden is the beginning of the Nile River, and the Nile River flows out of Africa, and it says it changes into the Pishon and Gishon rivers, and then it turns into the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And I continuously state that the fact that a river cannot be on two continents, but the Bible states that this river runs from Egypt and it encompasses the whole of that land called Ethiopia. This is in Africa. And so this is our land. And I continuously point out that if Abraham, since Abraham is an African, his
1 minute left, brother.
his ancestors are all African, from Noah, and even pre-Noah to Adam are all African, then that would make Abraham an African. And that would make Abraham a Shemite through Shem after the flood. And that would make everybody on their land Shemites, Kemites, or Japhethites. And that's it.
All right, thank you. So what I propose is to let the Fight Doctor go and then Pan African James go. And then because it's almost 1 a.m. here, then I will let everybody make their closing remarks, starting from Osam, basically clockwise, and I will make my last closing remarks. So, brother, the Fight Doctor is on you.
So I thought I heard you say that the Nile River runs out of Africa and into Mesopotamia, into the Euphrates River. I think that's what I heard you say.
No, I said the Nile River is the Euphrates River.
The Nile River is the Euphrates River, right? Okay, so first you said the Nile River runs out of Africa, and now you're saying that the Euphrates River is the Nile River. My follow-up to that would be a question, which is, where did you get that crack you're smoking, and can you share some of it? I've yet to see a map that says anything about the Nile River being anywhere on earth other than the Nile Valley. Now, if you have a map, sir, which illustrates the Nile
1
River
minute left, brother,
being part of Mesopotamia or having anything to do with Mesopotamia, please share that with us so I can correct myself. But yeah, if it's your understanding that the Nile River is somehow part of Mesopotamia, and is equivalent to the Euphrates River, then I suggest that you find whoever taught you geography and punch that person in the mouth, because that, sir, is well, yeah, it sounds like somebody been smoking crack. That's what it sounds like to me. I can't put it any other way. Sorry.
Brother Babylon Don, it's on you.
Yeah, well, that was the most backward statement I ever heard. In fact, if you want somebody to share some crack with you, you the one that's sick, brother. That is very silly. But to make a long story short, I'll entertain your question anyway, just because you here. Now, um, we can Shaka. Now, before we end this show, I want you to pull back up in Genesis what we pulled up yesterday, where it says the gold of this land is good, and all about the Gishon and Pishon River, please. Genesis, okay, and then I'm gonna pull up Genesis right here, which is Genesis 10, and I'm gonna read this little part right here, right quick. Just let me get to it. And then it say, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. The show finna end, so let's give it a little time. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were the sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, and Madai, and Javin, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras.
1 minute
And the
left,
sons
brother.
of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Tergamah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, their families, and their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mitzrayim, Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, and Sabta, and Rama, and Sabekta. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And the Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, the Yahweh. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Yahweh. And the beginning of the kingdom was Babel, and Eric, and Akkad. So Nimrod, a son of Cush, ruled Babel. The father of Cush ruled Babel, and Eric, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. That's Sumer. Out of that land went forth Asher and builded Nineveh and Rehoboth and Calah and Rezin between Nineveh and
That's
Calah.
time,
The
brother.
same is the great city. And
That's time, brother.
Mitzrayim, okay, and Mitzrayim begat Ladin and Amin and Lehabim and Nephahim and Pathrusim and Casluim. Out of them came the Philistines. Shaka, the Philistine out of Mitzrayim. We talked about that yesterday. And
Yeah,
Catharim and
that's
Canaan
been 2
begat
minutes.
Stephen,
That's been
the
2
son
minutes.
of Heth. And that's what we talking about. See, that's why we put a time limit and all of that, because y'all don't want to
Yeah,
know the truth.
that's time, brother.
Y'all want to know
That's
half
time,
truth.
brother. That's time, brother.
Yeah,
That's time, brother.
yeah.
So thank you,
But
brother.
I'm gonna do a
Babylon Don.
show, and I'm gonna have enough time for y'all to talk. I'm gonna do a show for y'all to have enough time.
Oh, you mean on your
Go
channel?
ahead.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna start a
Okay.
channel where people can have enough time
Oh,
to
okay.
do what
So
they need to do,
I was
and
gonna
I'm gonna
say,
let people
you know,
talk.
feel free to share the link, but now
Yeah.
thank you very much, brother. So I'm gonna let you all make your closing remarks. I'm going to start with Osar, and I'm not gonna put the time now, but please try to make it somehow brief. So go ahead, brother Osar. Feel free to make your closing remarks.
Yes, sir. If I could share my screen real quick, just because that's
Of
our
course,
good
brother.
our brother Babylon Don. I always want you to be able to see what we're talking about when we talk about it. And for real quick, for my brother Chuck Morgan, as you see the screen, this is in Academia EDU. You can always go to if you're on academia.edu. This is my partner. He's the foremost in Arcadian, David Olmsted. He has a series of free books on there. We're discussing the worship of Shu and some of the ancient Hebrew astrology. David Olmsted, look him up. He talks about Abraham. He be the one to find it. So a couple things from my brother Babylon Don as we close. Never forget Isaiah 19, right? Never forget this, because it says, in that day there will be a highway
That's
from
right.
Egypt to
That's right.
Assyria. The Assyrians will go to Egypt and the Egyptians to Assyria. The Egyptians, the Assyrians will worship together. And that day, Israel will be third, along with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing on the earth. And he says, what? Egypt is my people.
That ain't in there, but
Assyria
that's the
is
truth.
this. And Israel is my inheritance, right there, right? Blessed be Egypt, my people, Assyria, my handiwork, and Israel, my inheritance. So we telling you, come on back to Kemet, brother.
That's right.
The other thing, because you
No,
know
I
you
brought that
family.
scripture to the community. That's Isaiah 19:19, brother.
Okay.
19 times 19 equals 361. I
I
brought that
actually
scripture
threw
to
it
the
out there
community
in Kemet.
via Dr. York. Thank you.
Well, I actually threw it out there a long
Shalom.
time ago at the Kemet
Nah,
on trial debate, as
nah.
one of the brothers was a little upset. But the school of
But brother,
Alexandria.
maybe you missed the show though,
But hold on, brother
because I'm
Babylon,
not
if you
need to
don't
come
mind,
home.
if if
I'm
if you if you
commissioned.
don't mind,
I'm
Oh,
brother
you are?
commissioned
Babylon,
African.
Okay.
just
Then you family. It is what it is.
oh,
All
your
right.
commission, okay. But
Yeah,
please
bro.
let our
We
brother
just
let
talking. We just talking, brother. If it's an
yeah.
argument, I could see you interrupting Shaka. But if we just having a conversation as brothers, I think you should let us talk. We ain't having the problem that
Well,
me and
well,
Fight
well,
Club was having.
yeah. But just it's 1 a.m. I have to work tomorrow morning, so
Absolutely.
I'm trying to put an end to the live stream. So
Yeah.
I hope you can
Okay,
understand that
Right.
I
so
do.
so
So
Osama, please
let me wrap it up,
yes,
right?
yes.
So don't forget also, if you are Christian out there, School of Alexandria, the first Christian school, which is right now a Coptic school. This is in Alexandria, 2nd century AD. Clement of Alexandria, Origin, Jerome will tell you that Matthew started this school. This is your first Christian school. Remember, Origen's parents are pagan. They're Shimsu something. Remember, Clement's parents are Shimsu something. Remember your roots. Remember who you are and being a Sar. Shout out to my brother Pan African James, Fight Doctor, my brother Chuck Morgan, and of course my brother Shaka and Dougal Kemet, and of course our esteemed guest, brother Babylon Don. And that's it, man. Don't forget.
Thank you, brother Osam Ka. So well, actually now it's your turn, brother Babylon Done, to make your closing remarks. Feel free.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. But I think y'all make a lot of assumptions. Like y'all don't be done listen to the whole show or whatever. Y'all don't ask a brother who he is or what he stands on. Bro, I'm not some regular Hebrew Israelite. I said that I'm of the tribe of Judah. I'm specific. I'm not just any old commission. I said that I'm the king of Babylon. I am the son of David, the line of Judah in the row of sphinxes on the Egyptian plateau. I'm not your average person that just come on here just talking about stuff. I could have answered the questions that the brothers put forth, but they wasn't worthy because they haven't done their own research and they won't even admit their own faults in research. And so, I don't need to come home. I am at home. I told people from the start that Egypt was Judah, that Judah ruled Egypt. I keep saying that Shem is the Sem priest, but y'all say it's Sem priest, and I say that's Semitic. You're being like the Caucasian Jews. It's Shemitic. We have an H in there. It's Schumer, not Sumer.
Not in
It's
Sem. Not
Shinar,
in
not Sinar. I'm
Yeah, but
trying to
not in
tell
Sem.
you it's commit, not Kemet. So we have an H there. It's
It's
Shem,
Comet.
not
We
Sim.
got we got
We're
Coptic,
not
brother. So
semi
we know the
anything.
last
We're
version.
Shemitic. So is there somebody talking while I'm talking?
Yeah, I'm just responding to you, brother. I'm just giving you the goodies. You didn't answer the last question though. Jesus or Judah? Because
Can
that's
I
a
can
that's
I
a
can
thing.
I talk by myself though? Because
Oh,
I can't even
absolutely, bro.
feel like I'm getting my point across.
Go right
Brother
Why
ahead,
they
brother.
Babylon,
interrupting me?
you interjected earlier.
Yeah,
You
you
shouldn't
you you hopped in
take it
on
that
mine. I
bad.
thought we was having a conversation
I
still.
think it's
Sorry.
a
Go ahead.
delay. I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, brother Babylon Done, for your closing remarks. Now, brother Chuck Morgan, please feel free to make your closing remarks.
Yeah. Well, let me.
Mm. How do you share a screen on this? Because I haven't been on screen now. So
It
okay, I
says
see it. I see it.
present.
Yep. I see it right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Part of my question was because a number of things that he went on to speak about, and what I've heard from other individuals is when they start talking about many of the characters that are mentioned in the Old Testament, or at least the Torah, from Nimrod, Cush, et cetera, et cetera. I was just inquiring as to what text do we have from those lands that mentions or even adds on or gives clarity to some of the stories that are in the biblical narrative. And from my research, because I have done extensive research in it, I just haven't come across any of those texts that mention these individuals. And that was part of my question to the brother Babylon Dunn. And had he come across or heard any of those things? Now, if I can share my screen, I just thought that this, because this is relevant.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Which one is this? Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. Let me know when it's showing.
It is now, so I'm going to put it on.
All
There
right.
it is.
So we have Professor Gary Rinsberg, professor of Jewish history in the Department of Jewish Studies at Rutgers University, and he stated the following: almost a century ago, by identifying Ur-Kasdim with Ur of Sumer, even though there is no evidence in support of such a determination, unfortunately, this identification persists in the minds of the authors who continue to produce maps, atlases, and textbooks with the erroneous information. I put in the chat this particular website where he goes in depth with this and explains it and shows you the documentation and the evidence that points in the opposite of that location, the names, etc. Um, Likewise, I wanted to. Oh, it's something because when you mentioned that, because I don't think we should necessarily get into what's a good pronunciation, bad pronunciation, this letter, that letter. But we do know that the people of Sumer, as it's called, didn't refer to themselves as Sumerians, nor that land. We do know that textually, Kiingir was the name that they used to describe their location. And it was the Akkadians that labeled them Shimeru. And it was an Assyriologist who came in the 18th century, early 19th century, that actually coined the phrase Sumer. So I would think that anyone that's interested or even that deals with that Near Eastern or Oriental studies, that's an area that should be pursued more, at least when it comes to explaining the origins of various biblical characters. Because if you're going to go to that land and discuss these individuals who happen to be in that land, according to the story, there should be some text to support that, especially since we have over 15,000 texts in one museum, and then we have about 4,000, say, in the Louvre Museum, and various other places where these texts that have been translated. You can go to the Electronic Text Corpus of Sumerian Literature. You can go to the CDLI, the Cuneiform Digital Initiation. I forget how it goes, but the CDLI, where you can go and look at full whole text that may have been either translated or transliterated, that would give you some clarity. And when it comes to it, just because the reason I'm pointing this up, to make it a long story short, I do remember individuals who would say that, according to the Bible, when Abraham or his father, he and his father, whomever he had made this journey with, they had crossed the Tigris and Euphrates. And that the implication of it is that was a significant event in history. And if that were the case, then certainly there should be some text that mentions this event and who saw it and why. And again, in my own research, I have yet to see any documentation that supports either the individual or the events that are associated or attributed to him and those around him, from terror, so on and so on and so forth. So that was all my point was in asking that question, because I thought that maybe he would, because I do speak with different people who, that take on that doctrine. But when it comes down to that individual, Abraham or Abram, whichever name that they use, I was just looking for the text that mentions him and or the acts that he performed in that migration, or that being a refugee, or for whatever it calls. So that was all. That was all my whole point on that.
Thank you,
And I
brother Chuck
appreciate you
Morgan.
giving me the time. Yeah.
Oh, of course, and other times we have way more time. Now, I've shared the link to Chuck Morgan's video entitled "The Sumerians Were They Black," and you have the YouTube link. I've shared this presentation even when he was on somebody else's channel that is not really a best friend of mine, and because in 2011 I made a video "White Semites Black Awakening," and I caught a bit of heat because I was basically arguing that the Semites were not black. And for the first time, I see somebody else that made a presentation. Well, a black person that said I made a presentation showing that the Sumerians, I mean, you can see the video. I'm not going to do a spoiler alert. So now, brother, the fight
If I
doctor,
may,
please.
if,
Yes.
can
Okay.
you give me
Go
one
ahead.
second? Just
Yeah. Go ahead,
one
Chuck
second.
Morgan. Go ahead. Go ahead.
As a result of it, I do have a follow up to that video. I have a PowerPoint equally as long. I just
Man,
haven't
Chuck,
released
come
it
on,
yet. And
bro. Now this
No,
ain't no
no,
promotion
no, no,
channel.
but no, Babylon Done.
yeah.
Come on,
Just let him
bro.
speak.
Come
It's
on,
okay.
bro.
Just
Come
don't do
on.
that. You don't need to do that, brother Babylon Done. Let's remain cordial. Go ahead, Chuck Morgan. You're free to speak. You're free to speak.
Well, just that last point. I just want to say that I have and a follow up to that, which deals more on a linguistic area of it, as opposed to just the physical evidence. So that was all.
All right, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to it. And brother, the fight doctor, please feel free to make your closing remarks.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to all the brothers who joined us on the panel and represented themselves very well, spoke very eloquently. Thank you. I definitely walk away with this enriched. The brother, and that includes you, brother Babylon Don. I walk away from this better than I was when I came into it. So thank you, brother. However, I do have a criticism. Actually, I have several. You've been pulling a Elijah Muhammad. Now, what I mean by that is Elijah Muhammad, made a name for himself, criticizing the white man, calling the white man a devil, etc. But then, on the one hand, he called the white man a devil. But then, on the other hand, he was being bankrolled by a rich white man. So, where I come from, that is called having two faces. And unfortunately, brother, you are guilty of the same type of behavior. Whereas we heard you earlier in the conversation demonize white people and say that the white man is a liar. But then in the same breath, you will turn around and quote the white man's book as if it were truth. The white man's book being the Bible. Now, if you look on the cover of your Bible, it will give the name Holy Bible, and right underneath, it will say King James Version. Last I checked, King James was a white man. Now, King James commissioned 40 scholars to translate older versions of the Bible into the King James Version. Chief among these 40 scholars was William Shakespeare, another white man. So, brother, there needs to be some consistency with your logic. Now, if you are going to accuse white people of being untruthful, then it is very hypocritical of you to do so while at the same time, in the same breath, quoting the white man's book as if it is truth. You can't have it both ways, brother. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. If the white man is untruthful, then so is his book, which you love to quote. So it has to be one or the other, brother. Okay? Your King James Version is the product of Europeans. I don't think anyone can dispute that. So therefore, if Europeans are untruthful, then their book, the Holy Bible, King James Version, is also untruthful. And you need to stop quoting it. Be consistent with your own logic. This ain't what I said. This is what you said. You said the white man was a liar. If that is the case, then why, brother, and I would like to answer this question, why are you quoting from the white man's book?
All right. Really, I don't think it's the best time to have an answer because now it's like 18 past 1 a.m. where I am in France. So thank you for your closing remarks, brother, the fight doctor. And I was going to let Pan African James make his closing remarks, but
we can save that question for another conversation. How about that?
Yes, exactly. I don't know exactly when I will go live. Probably over the weekend because tomorrow I have a class. I'm giving a middle nature class, but probably over the weekend. I was going to let Brother Pan-African James make his closing remarks, but he had to go. I've muted his mic because he was talking to probably some of his family members. I want to thank you all, brothers. Thank you very much. Now, if some sisters want to get on the platform, they are free to do so. I want to thank Tropical Island for that donation. That Tropical Island wrote, please make yearly membership available. So I just replied that the membership is on a monthly basis, and it is Google or YouTube that handles it. I don't know the people's first name, surname, email address, bank details, or phone number. I don't have none of this information. The only thing I know is the username, and people can cancel the membership at any time. So if you want to know yearly, that's basically $36 per year, but it's $3 per month. So for those who feel like it, there's my Cash App and my PayPal. And I'm very happy about this discussion today. We remain really cordial. I really like that. I appreciate that. And one thing I will say is that it's important to know how our people think. Us non-Abrahamic, we are a minority. The majority think a certain way. So it's good to know how they think. It gives us, arguments and ways to talk about our people. And so that's interesting. I think that's interesting. So really, I appreciate that. Osamka, you wanted to say something, but please make it very, very, very brief because
now,
other
I was
people.
just pointing at Pan-African James because he's back now.
Oh, thank you. I didn't notice. Well, okay, well, go ahead, Brother Pan-African James. Please feel free to make your closing remarks.
It's just really just disheartening that we have to deal with this. But I understand from which we came. Most of us on the panel was once indoctrinated with this same particular problem that we have. So I try not to be disrespectful to those still in the that position. You know what I'm saying? But from what they gave us,
y'all ridiculous. Y'all act like somebody don't believe what y'all believe is handicap.
No, it's not. Hold on. It's not about. It's not about.
You should let him make his closing remarks. Really, just go ahead, brother.
It's not about belief, brother. I mean, I'm not even dealing with a belief system at this particular time. I'm just saying, as adults and as African men, we need to come together based on something tangible. And I think that we have a lot of brilliant Africans that came before us that we always hold in high esteem as far as like being the custodians of this history. Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, Sheikh Anta Diop, Theophilo Banga, Drusilla Dungy, Houston, those just to name a few. That is the people that have put our history together after being enslaved and indoctrinated with false history. We had some stumbles along the way with the Nation of Islam, and now we're dealing with the Hebrew stuff. But we've come to the consensus with with the internet, with the capability of the internet to be able to have this conversation. And we have our brother Shaka Wade in France, and we're having an international conversation in real time. And what needs to be understood is that this is a serious matter, and we don't hate you, brother, but we have come to a consensus amongst us six that the chronology of history does not start with even Hebrew or Israelite beginnings. And with that said, I'm gonna close out, man. It's a beautiful panel, brothers, and I enjoyed it. So with that said, I'm peace and hotep to everybody.
Yeah, brother, I didn't get a chance to close out. I'll be brief.
Didn't you close out? I thought you closed out before you left.
I just came back.
Well, please, brother Radio One, please be very brief, please. It's 1:23 a.m. and I'm working tomorrow morning, so go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, we must, entertain and study authentic, original text that is contemporary with the time. Okay, because that is what a real historian do. Okay, when you're dealing with a certain time period, you need to show a text that is closest to that time. Don't sit up here and try to claim tell me a history took place 2,000 years ago, but your source is your source only goes back 50 years ago or 100 years ago. That is what I call pseudo. Okay, so yeah, your text, yeah, because it's too much too many people making up their own history, and that's why I say it's important. It is important to show some valid, ancient historical sources to prove your point, and that's all I want to say.
Thanks a lot, brother. With you on. Well, I want to thank everybody on the panel. I want to thank Babylon Dunn because he doesn't really share the same view as us, and he accepted to answer the different questions that we had. So we have some other time to talk about our discussion this evening. I think and I hope that you will admit that we've been fair towards you. But if you don't feel that way, you are free to say it the next time we speak. But I really want to thank you. I want to thank everybody that was on the panel. I think it was a good build. So brothers and sisters, I almost said brothers and sisters, brothers. I'm going to make my closing remarks, which will be very brief. It will be the usual. Um, um, stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Dua itu dua Necheru, Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes, and here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool, but I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.